The opinions expressed of this show are for entertainment purposes and should not be misconstrued or interpreted as fact. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Your membership to Gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Matt Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! Here he goes. There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here. Oh, look at Nuss Flush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Can-Can. Kenny Can-Can wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Res Mall make a run to be $50?
You son of a bitch!
Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Can-Can, Smoke and Mirrors, Director 97 home. That is the way. Here comes Jason Meyer, the Eldorado custodian. Billy Friedrich, Jones one all coming down the advantage.
Coin! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
From the corporate Peter Low Shack, legendary sports handicapper, more dapper than a dawn. on for the young phenom known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA with the all PSR Pub Sports Radio. Bizarre is a man named Slaughter, and he flipped the script. No competition in this they quick the trip. But we say we be pubbing, baby, with the bag and you love it. You want it top 10, we above it.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, August 14th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. We got a great show for you guys today. Bobano hitting a lead off. We're going to hit these 4 CFL games and then talk about the 1:10 p.m. start for Mariners, 1:05 p.m. start for Mariners, Orioles. Then Spooner joins us. We break down the rest of the card. It starts with his Chicago Cubs, Toronto Blue Jays at 3:07 p.m. Justin Mcelvy as well will be rolling with us. He'll be dropping his stacks plays of the day live here on the show. I see them right here in the chat. Harper and Frankie Lindor over 1.5 bases each. Then, but right after Loshak, right after Bobano, Loshak's going to jump in. Loshak's going to jump in and tell us how the speed dating session, is that what it's called? A session went, his speed dating yesterday. He's at Bet Bash in Las Vegas. So that will be after we've capped the Mariners Orioles game. And we've got our action in if we decide to move on that action. That is the plan of attack. Shout out to all the cappers with us. Yesterday was a wild day. Our streak of winning shows continues. And there was minefields out there. Major minefields. Dodgers, Yankees, Mets all lost. The public lost their shirt yesterday. And important notes. Now, but let's start off with me and what I did wrong. I screwed up badly expecting the roof to be open in Toronto. I screwed that up. I couldn't have screwed that up worse, and I apologize. The rain stopped. There was no rain. It was like a nice night. I was astonished they didn't open up the roof. It was sold out in Toronto, and that screwed us. The ball wasn't flying. So many of those Cubbies early hits that died at the track or at the wall would have gone yard with the roof off, and that was me screwing up. It's me screwing up. So I pushed my Pitt Milwaukee first 302. I lost Arizona first 5 plus a half, but goddamn, it was 3-2. Runners on first and second, a single to right field. That the runner on second base should have been on third. It was his fault for not being on third, and then he gets mowed down at the plate. Those things happen. Then I lost Chicago-Toronto over 8.5. So there's 0-2. Cashed Astros first 5 minus half easily. Cashed the Dodgers. Angels back-to-back overs there pretty easily. I mean, I was lucky for the Angels comeback. And then I cashed with our best bet of the day on the Aces. That's what gave me the profit on the night. But let's talk about these red flags. The Dodgers and Mets open up at minus 190. And don't move. Don't move all day. We see, we talk about what creates a cash cow situation. It's that you have a minus 180, minus 90, 190 that moves to minus 230 or minus 240. You want the books to show concern. You need them to show concern. How the Mets, so the Dodgers and Mets open minus 190. Yankees was a different story there, but the Mets, that was the most ridiculous situation ever. I mean, how on earth was it not moving towards the Mets with Cookie on the mound? And Cookie still gets touched. You could have still made money off of that cap by just taking the Mets team total over. So that could have still worked. But there are red flags that we have to be aware of, that we have to, honor or whatever it is. These days that I've been having, it's one after another of mediocrity. It's the most consistent mediocrity I've ever had in my career. And I guess I'm okay with it. The roller coaster still exists in all these days of action, but I keep kind of sitting around the same spot. I lost 0.32 units in MLB yesterday. I'm still barely up double-digit units on the season. And I'll take all of that. and I'm pumped up and ready to rock with you guys. Justin McKelvey, we got Harper and Frankie Lindor. Those are the Stacks plays of the day, which will be given out in person here when we break down the MLB card. I promise you guys we're going to, and I'm going to close with NFL. I'm going to close with the 2 games in NFL. There's been huge moves in CFL and huge moves towards the Alouettes. I still didn't move on it. As I said, I could have got minus 120 after the show. I could have got minus 115 last night. This is on the double result, and it's already minus 120 this morning. A big move towards Ottawa. Again, the line didn't make sense for them to be that big of a dog. And maybe it should just be taken advantage of. Maybe that's what we'll decide to do. I know it's down to 4 right now with the way Drew Brown is playing. But, talking these things out, as much as it's hurt some of the line value, it has, I'm rolling in CFL. Speaking of rolling in CFL, I swept week 9. Bobano swept week 10. 5-0 from Mr. Ian Cameron last week in CFL. So, whatever we're doing, it's working. Gorky in the house dropping his action. He got in early, and it's a Winnipeg Edmonton moneyline parlay and a Saskatchewan BC moneyline parlay for Gorky. So we're doing great work in that regard. The nuke worker on Ottawa +5. Again, the opening line just threw me for such a loop. And that's something we've been doing a great job of in MLB, is really focusing on the opening line as much as the line movement, copying and pasting. But it makes perfect sense to me, Nuke. If the last few weeks I've been very passive about getting my action in early, and I don't know really what to say about it. It's working, but I feel like I'm late to the party in a lot of spots here. Pig milk play today is in Arizona, Colorado over at 12. Razor sharp picks in the house, cashing with the Cincinnati Reds yesterday. Excellent work. JT on Detroit, Minnesota under 7.5. We got CP in the house. CP always ready to get to work. Michael Johnson ready to get to work. I'm going to continue copying and pasting. There is our guy, Wine Time Sportsman. Was I thinking about you, Hoppy, Hammer, getting the job done last night. It was a fun game, really, really fun game to watch. Obviously, I was on the over. It makes it a little bit more fun. All right, great to see all of you guys. I'm going to keep copying and pasting action in the chat and give you guys shouts out, but it is time to get to work. We want to utilize as much time as possible with our next guest, who will be joining us here until 1 p.m. I promise you, I know we're starting with CFL, but I promise you we'll all have at least 25 minutes to get our action in Mariners Orioles. Without further ado, as I said, board sweepage on our show. That's 2 different weeks here with us. He has swept the board in CFL. He swept the board in week 10. I swept the board in week 9. He also swept the board in week, I don't know, it was 5 or 6. We're really seeing everything clearly. Now let's go get that money. Please welcome from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada's black and yellow steel town, star of the Hitting the Books YouTube channel. Please welcome Mr. Ian Cameron to the show. Bobano, my man, how are you?
Good to be with you, Jimmy. Good to see everyone in the chat on a Thursday, and good to be here as always.
A spectacular work last week, sweeping the board, and
you can't ask for a better CFL week from a combination, for me at least, as far as a combination of the betting results going the way you want them to. It was a phenomenal week. I think last week I was pretty clear on the show. I thought it was a very strong underdog type of week in the CFL last week. I thought the dogs were live in every game. Dogs went 4-0 against the spread last week in the CFL. 3 of those 4 underdogs won outright. But it was not just that that we made the money and profitable and a big profitable week. How about the games? They were phenomenal. All of them exciting, thrilling finishes, down to the wire, back and forth, games decided in the last minute, the last few seconds. It was just an amazing week of CFL football as far as entertainment value. So you combine the quality of the games with the betting results, and I very much enjoyed last week.
It was very enjoyable. Now, would you say that you were watching good football?
Not good defense, I can tell you that. In a lot of sense, just look at that Ottawa-Toronto game. Holy mackerel! If they'd be still scoring, if they were playing right now at BMO Field. 88 points in that game. Toronto scores 42 points and they lose the game. It tells you all you need to know about their defense right now. And it looked a lot of special teams blunders and big plays, and that's why it was a high-scoring week. But you're right, it was entertaining, it was exciting. But you're right, there's at times where you see, especially on the defensive side of the football, it's not the greatest as far as technique and form and certainly ability right now.
It's whatever it is, let's take advantage of it and get that cash. Great to see all of you guys. I've copied and pasted all of the important action. Thank you so much for popping it in the chat. It is crucial to the success of our community. Bobano, let's get to work in the Canadian Football League. Move up here. We start this very evening, Thursday night CFL action here, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Ottawa Redblacks 3-6, 2-3 on the road at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 4-4, 3-1 at home. We're in Princess Auto Stadium in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Gorky says if you're looking at Ottawa, take a money line. If Winnipeg win, that Winnipeg win. Winnipeg will cover here. 72 Fahrenheit. Light rain in the forecast. There is light rain in the forecast in all of these games except for Vancouver, of course, with the roof or the pretend. That roof is just trash. Like that. It's all our lives we waited for a retractable roof, and they gave us a few feet. It's just absolute trash. But that's a different story here. So the rain is something to keep an eye on. Whenever you see light rain, of course, that could be more than that in the summertime, and it can be non-existent and not there. So it's just something to keep an eye on. We do have double-digit wins in all three games, other than, of course, Vancouver. So double-digit mile wins. So that's important as well. Let's get into the line history here to get us started here. Thursday, August 14th, week 11 in the CFL. There has been a big move towards Ottawa, which we were expecting. Let me start here. That opening line of 6.5. What did you make of it?
I jumped on Ottawa right away is what I made of it. Winnipeg's got all kinds of issues in this game. Tons of issues. Well, first of all, they're not playing anywhere close to the level we've seen in the past, and they are just gutted in the secondary. The secondary stinks when they got everybody healthy, in my opinion. They haven't even been good when they've had their bodies healthy and they've had their best players and their starters on the field. Mike O'Shea's been benching guys this year in that secondary. It's been so bad for Winnipeg. And now they've lost Jamal Parker, who's one of their better corners. They've lost Terrell Bonds for the season, who's been there for a few years. Their boundary corner out for the season due to injury, suffered last week against Calgary. So they're down two more key starters. They're shuffling bodies around back there again for this game tonight against an Ottawa passing attack that is all of a sudden on a serious heater with Drew Brown the last couple weeks, just chucking the football. And remember, Ottawa's got great receivers. They do. That was never the question with the Redblacks. It was, can the offensive line start to play better? And lo and behold, against Calgary and Toronto, these last two games, the offensive line has played better. Why? Because they've been healthier. They finally got some of their injuries back on the O-line. Peter Godber, their center, was out. Zach Pelahos, their guard, was out for a period of time. And now he's back. So with better offensive line play and better health along the O-line, they've protected Drew Brown better. And now you're seeing they're reaping the benefits of a passing attack that we thought could be pretty solid going into the year.
As absolutely nailed there. The total up to 52.5 from 51.5, 53s. I think personally the difference in the offensive line, I can understand focusing on the health of it, but it's that they get a chance to take a breath on the sideline. That Drew Brown is actually putting drives together, and the defense then gets to rest on the sideline. Then the defense can make stops, and the difference with the offensive line to me is almost solely on quarterback play. But absolutely health has been a big deal. Here we have both teams on just 5 days rest. 5 days rest, which is a big issue with Canadian football. This is a very difficult situation, but they both have the same. Redblacks coming off that wild 46-42 victory at Toronto on Saturday. Drew Brown, 26 of 31 for 373 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. You're higher on Braylon Addison and Justin Hardy than I am. They were both excellent last week, though. 7 catches, 115 yards, a touchdown for Addison. Hardy, 7 catches for 106 yards and 2 touchdowns. Willie Stanback ran 17 times for 84 yards. He caught 2 for 9 yards. And their defense looked atrocious. Argos put up 42 points, 366 yards of net offense, 24 first downs. Redblacks have allowed 30-plus points now 5 times this season. They're allowing 28.4 points per game. Their rushing defense, though, is pretty good. It's pretty good, and that will be important here against Brady Oliveira. The Redblacks were horrific on the road last year. I don't even think we need to get into it, though. This is just a different Redblacks team, different with Drew Brown at quarterback. They're 3-2 against the spread on the road right now. We have the Bombers coming in off that tough 28-27 loss at Calgary. Castillo kicked that CFL tying. I thought it was a CFL record, but now they're saying it tied the CFL record, 63-yard field goal. I thought the old one was 62, but too much time left on the clock. Big play VA. Vernon Adams got the Stamps field goal range. Paredes knocked one through. Caleros was 21-26 for 214 yards and a touchdown. Brady Oliveira ran 12 times for 68 yards. He led receivers with 9 catches for 100 yards. So I want to touch on the offense here for Winnipeg. No other receiver made more than 3 catches or caught for more than 3 yards. These overs in Winnipeg games have cashed a lot. We're seeing them cash, nonstop pretty much right now. That's not something we're used to. We're used to Winnipeg games going under. I'm used to cashing unders. I'm shocked at my record this year in the CFL with all the overs, nonstop overs. I can't, because I'm generally an under better, and so I'm barely keeping my head up above water. It feels like, but the record is pretty strong. So unders last year for the Bombers, 14 and 18 games. And now it's just over city. Winnipeg has allowed 28-plus points in 5 straight games. Just unbelievable. I'm just astonished at all of this. Slatsy wants to know your thoughts on the Ottawa team total over 22.5. I imagine with the initial bet on the 6.5 that you like the team total over 22.5. And I want you to touch on the wide receiving play from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Take it away.
It's been hit or miss, I guess, is the best way to put it with the Winnipeg receiver. And look, that first half, they played really well. I thought it was a great offensive half in Calgary against a good Stampeders team. And I don't know what happened in the second half. It just went away, and here's all of a sudden, Caleros starting to make some mistakes again. The running game was spotty. The offensive line started to get caved in a little bit by Calgary in that second half. It was just a tale of 2 games, really, in the first half to the second half with Winnipeg's offense last week. Caleros has definitely not had a great season. It's been up and down for him, and you look at the receiving core for this Winnipeg team, they miss Kenny Lawler, who's now with my Ticats. They do. That was the bona fide deep threat and a guy that could certainly win one-on-one battles for the football, time in, time out. And Dalton Schoen continues to be, banged up and in the lineup, out of the lineup. That continues to be, a bit of a concern too for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And you look at what they've got now with thank goodness they still have Dembski, but they're looking for other players to be more consistent. Can it be Clercius? Can it be Stearns? Can it be Carrick Wheatfall, who only had 1 catch last week? They gave Dylan Mitchell an opportunity for the first time this season. He had 3 catches, but you're right. There's not the same depth at receiver right now for the Bombers. It's going to be interesting. Now, Winnipeg did cover the last time they were at home, and this is still a home field to be, respected, obviously. Princess Auto Stadium. They beat Toronto, won and covered here 40-31 a couple weeks ago. But even that game where you think, well, maybe Winnipeg back home off a tough loss last week, let's lay the points. They did cover as a favorite and by 9, which would cover this number tonight. But here's the problem with that thinking. 40-31, their defense still got ripped apart by Toronto in that game. And yeah, they scored 40 points, 2 touchdowns in that win against Toronto were kick return touchdowns by the same guy So you have to, I mean, so you take away those 2 touchdowns, they had 26 points in that game, they might have lost. So it's scary right now with Winnipeg. Like, if not for those 2 kick return touchdowns by the same player, there's a chance they don't beat the Argos 2 weeks ago at home. So, like I said, I don't love the idea of fading Winnipeg off a loss at home where they've been so good for the better part of the last 6 years, but it's not the same Winnipeg team, and it's a decimated secondary. It's the kind of secondary that the way Drew Brown's, and don't forget the intangible element that I talked about last week with Cody going back to Montreal, and we have the same thing here. Drew Brown going back to Winnipeg, where he started his career, backing up Collaros. You think this game means a little something extra to him? I would think so. So, yeah, I think Ottawa's very live. I think now, though, I will go with the team total as my official play here for the show, 22.5 at -1.0. Let me see where the best number is. It's actually moved a little bit, but yeah, 22.5 -120.
Now, I was on the Bombers against the Argos. Don't you think a key part of that football game was who was at quarterback for the Bombers?
Which one?
Chris Streveler was at quarterback.
Oh, the Winnipeg-Toronto game. Right. A couple weeks ago. That's true. He was. Actually didn't play that bad, quite honestly. He had some good moments. He had some bad moments. The question is, or at least from what I've seen out of Zach, there's not the same drop-off, Zach to Streveler, that there was last year. Collaros is not right. Collaros is not at the level he's been at in years past. He's not. Like, how do you go from the first half last week to the second half and you just stop moving the football? You put up no points other than that one long bomb field goal Castillo had late in the fourth quarter. That's the only points they scored in the second half. So to me, yeah, Streveler's definitely not someone I would want as my number one, and I'd still prefer Zach. But, I mean, that's not that monster drop-off anymore. This year, Zach Collaros is not the drop-off anymore to Chris Streveler that it was last year or 2 years ago.
Team total over 22.5 for Bobano.
It's interesting, too. I look back at last year's meeting in Winnipeg, Ottawa at Winnipeg. Ottawa was actually ahead of Winnipeg in that game, and Drew Brown started that game, but he got injured in the second quarter and left the game, didn't return. Dustin Crum finished that game, and that's when things fell apart for Ottawa. Winnipeg shut him down, and Winnipeg came back, and I think they won by 9, 25-16 last year.
This whole spread and situation market-wise, for people who haven't bet it yet, it reminds me very much of the Bombers at Stamps last week. I told TJ, TJ was like, I could take the +5 at this or the +4. And I was like, the difference between the 5 and the 4 is negligible.
Yeah.
Agree. I mean, the reason why Bobano's not moving on is because he got 6.5. The difference between 6.5 and 4 is very legitimate and very. So those of you looking at the 5 now moving to the 4 shouldn't be too concerned.
I just think there's more value in a team total over 22.5 now than 4 when I had 6.5 initially. Correct. You got it. 100%.
Bobano making the Ottawa team total over 22.5 -120 official.
I will make over 52 -120 official too. I'm going to get in on that. I do worry about Ottawa's defense. And the one thing we've seen out of Winnipeg at home is some monster numbers at times offensively. So I will go over 52 as well. Doesn't look like the weather's going to be too bad here tonight, by the way, in Winnipeg. I got the hourly forecast up. Thunderstorms maybe, which could actually delay the game if it's thunderstorms around kickoff time, but only for the first hour, and then it clears out. It should be fine the rest of the night.
Let's keep rolling, my friend. Keep rolling. So we have 14 minutes for these next because we want enough time to get our action in for Orioles Mariners. Yep. Let's roll. Friday, August 15th, 9 p.m. Eastern. Toronto Argonauts 2-7, 1-3 on the road at the Edmonton Elks, 2-6, 1-3 at Homer Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton, Alberta. 52 Fahrenheit light rain, 10-mile-per-hour winds. Taking a look at the line history here for tomorrow night's game, and we're going to go over these to close out the show with Gorky tomorrow. As the overs keep flying in, this total has climbed. It's a 54 at most books, or will be a 54 very soon. Opened up here late. Again, there's books that come out much earlier than this cautious, sharp offshore. 53.5 opening at -109, now 53.5 at -117. And the Elks right now are -3 at even money. They opened up at -2.5, -103. They got to -3, and they were up to -114 yesterday morning. That's a 14-cent move towards the Argos here. Guillermo Certucci in the house. What up, G? So here, the Argos defense continues to look horrific. They come in off a 46-42 loss at home to Ottawa last Saturday. Redblacks put up 429 yards in that offense, 27 first downs. Arbuckle looks strong, 32 of 38, 317 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Dejon Brissett caught 6 for 89 in a touchdown. Herslau caught 6 for 84 in a touchdown. The Elks coming off a 23-22 win at Montreal on Friday. Fajardo was 27 of 38 for 289 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And for the second time in 3 games, this didn't happen in their last home game, but for their last 2 road games, they got absolutely nothing from their running game. Rankin and Javon Lee combined to run 6 times for 0 yards. Rankin did lead receivers with 4 catches for 88 yards. And for the second straight week, Rankin was the leading receiver. So that just like the Bombers, the Elks are not getting action to their wide receivers. These are the 2 worst teams in the CFL for points allowed. The Argos allowed 32.4. Edmonton allows 30.1. Edmonton is allowing 404 yards per game right now. Take it away for us here, Bobano. Argos Elks Friday night action.
So there's another one where, kind of like with Ottawa, my jaw hit the floor when I saw Toronto favored on the road to open when the line opened here. Toronto was favored on the road when this line opened, 1.5, and I jumped on Edmonton right away. Edmonton's got positive momentum. This is kind of a tale of 2 teams going in opposite directions, because Edmonton's been good since Fajardo took over as far as being competitive. They lost by 3 at Saskatchewan, who are 7-1. They lose by 4 against Hamilton, where they had the lead and Hamilton got the late touchdown, and Edmonton goes down the field and maybe wins that game if Keon Julian Grant doesn't drop a touchdown in the final minute. They lose that game by 4, and then they finally get over the hump and win a game last week. What a great drive to win that game, engineered by Fajardo, sticking it to his old team. That's the one thing I should have done last week. I took Edmonton off the card because it's just the number got too bad. It opened 4.5, 5, and it was 2.5 when I was doing the show with you with Edmonton against Montreal. I said I can't move on it now. Maybe I still should have, but nevertheless, Edmonton ended up winning that game outright. Big win for them. They needed it. But I'm a little concerned now taking them at -3. We're still talking about, a 2-win team. We're asking them now to win by more than it's one thing for asking them to win. Now you're going to have to ask them to win by more than a field goal. Totally different point spread role here for the Elks. They've been underdogs pretty much all year. Now favored, let's see how they handle that. But there's no telling. They're a much healthier team. There's no doubt. Cameron Judge, the linebacker, is out for Toronto. Every week, McManus is on the injury report. Who knows if he's going to be in or out, and he matters. Tavares Daniels looks like he's going to play, but DeMonte Coxey, who's been great, one of Nick Arbuckle's most reliable weapons, he is very much questionable here, apparently, according to the latest injury report. Let me see, because the latest update for him, questionable, limited at practice, and didn't practice early in the week. So keep an eye on that. Coxey is one of the best receivers on this Argos team. So we'll see if he ends up playing out. And Ryan Hunter, obviously, a very important O-lineman, remaining out for them as well. And Edmonton's injury report, the only guy that was major contributor on their injury report is Royce Mechie, the former Argo, who's now with the Elks in their secondary, but he looks like he's going to be playing for Edmonton. So very much Edmonton, the healthier team. Edmonton feels like they're trending up. Toronto's kind of trending down the other way. I thought Edmonton was a great bet at +1.5. Now we'll have to wait and see on that. This is another one, too, where I think if I were to make it official on the show, I think I will do what I did in the last game here. The scary part for Edmonton here with backing them now, too, is for as horrible, and it is horrible, the Toronto defense, Nick Arbuckle's balling out. He is playing really good football for the Argos, and that offense is still very dangerous. He's playing well, and they're putting up big points every week, this Toronto Argos team. So I remember doing a bet like this. I think it was Ottawa versus Edmonton in this stadium. And here's another one where the weather early in the week didn't look good. for Friday night in Edmonton. It looked like it was going to be raining. It looked like the wind was going to be maybe a bit of a factor. I'm now seeing that for Friday night here in Edmonton, 7 p.m. local time when this game kicks off, 21-kilometer winds, which are moderate, but they're not like heavy wind that will heavily impact the offenses, and cloudy, no rain, 40%. The rain should move out before that game starts on Friday night. So Toronto is really good offensively, and I don't know if even Edmonton's going to completely slow them down. I mean, 25, 30, 38, 25, 31, 31, 42 is what Toronto, has put on the board. So again, they're struggling because of their defense. It's not their offense. So this is going to be the over trifecta for me, Jimmy, as far as I'm going to go with the team total both ways. That's right, both ways in this game.
Can I just before this you lock in? Can you just? And I know we got to be quick, but it's 52 Fahrenheit. It's going to be cold. There'll be about 1,000 people in the stadium. Do you think that affect? And that's fair, right? Like I'm not exaggerating.
It won't be a good crowd, although they're off a win, so maybe it boosts things a little bit. But we're not talking about a big crowd at all.
But
correct.
And it's a huge stadium.
Yeah.
Does that because as I've been psychologically kind of putting together this game, I start wanting to see how high this will go.
Yeah.
To want to bet against it.
For the total, you mean?
Yes. Yeah. Just because of now, and I wanted to hear your take, and here now you're doubling up. But when this empty stadium with nobody fucking caring, do you think that will?
Here's the thing with that, and this is series history is part of why I've gone this route with the team totals both ways over, the full game over as well is what I was thinking here, and I've already bet it personally. It's just, do I want to go officially with it here for the show? It's been one shootout after another. Argos versus Elks, 2023 in Edmonton, it was 43-31. Both teams would have gone over their team total. The game went over the total. Last year in Toronto, 39-36. 75 points. Both teams would have went over their team total, and the game went over the total. And then last year in Edmonton, they played in October, 31-30, 61 points. Both teams again would have went over their team total, and the game goes over the total. So it's a very strong series history that kind of pulled me in that direction as well.
I hear that. I'm still putting it together. So both team totals are official. What is the line?
I will go with the Toronto one at over 20. 25.5 at -1. I'm just trying to see what the best one out there is right now. -115. Toronto team total over 25.5. Edmonton team total over 27.5, which is -118. And the full game over 52 -120.
Over 50.
We'll get to some unders, trust me.
-120.
The Saturday games, I'm not too in love with overs in those two games. We'll get
team total over 27.5 was with what juice?
The team total over 27.5 was -118.
Okay, let's roll on. We only have 5 minutes for these two games, so let's be very quick here for Saturday. We'll take a little bit longer with them tomorrow. Ticats, Rough Riders, Mosaic Stadium, Regina, Saskatchewan, 68 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 12 miles per hour. And I did also double check that weather report. Bobano's bang on in Edmonton. It should be, by the game 7 p.m. local, so by 6 p.m. there's no rain for sure. Yeah. It should stop around 4:35. So. That is absolutely right. Here we have the light rain in the second half. It's changing, and I haven't looked at it this morning. This was last night. 68 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 12 mile per hour winds here. And let's get into the line history again. Just very, very quick takes on these two games. I know you guys want to talk MLB, and we'll have time to get our action in. The Rough Riders are -3.5, -104 right now, and rightly so. I was surprised by this opener. Surprised to see it at a 3. This total is a 54. I'm looking at a 53.5 -123 to the over. It opened up -109 to the over. Saskatchewan is playing phenomenal. I mean, there's just no way around it. They're the class of the league right now. Harris is the best quarterback in the league. They're second in total offense, second in scoring offense. It's Hamilton that's number 1. Hamilton finally got some rest, 9 days off between games, but they do have to travel. They come in off a 41-38 overtime loss at home to BC last Thursday. Their defense allowed the Lions to put up 514 yards of net offense. And now you have two injuries at cornerback, and we need to hear if Stavros will be playing. Katsantonis, we don't know if he's playing, and Jamal Peters as well. So that is crucial. This pass defense has been good. 275.7 yards per game entering week 11, 6th. I mean, good before this Lions debacle. Bo Levi Mitchell continues to be excellent. Their three-headed monster wide receiver and Tim White, Kenny Lawler, and Condra Smith are the best in the business. Greg Bell doing his part. And Trevor Harris leads the CFL in passer rating. They come in off their bye week. What a dangerous situation to go up against Corey Mace's Rough Riders at Mosaic Stadium off of a bye week. The only good thing is they destroyed Montreal week 9. It's not like they're a real angry group. Take it away, Bobano.
Is it a dangerous spot for the Ticats? Mace has sucked off a bye. He really has, going back to last year. Yeah. He's been bad off a bye week, Corey Mace. Yeah. Last year, he struggled off a bye week. And look at this year. Saskatchewan's one loss this year. Look at it. Off a bye week. They were rolling going into the bye week. 4-0. What a start for Saskatchewan, right? I remember that spot. They beat Hamilton on the road. They beat Ottawa at home, Hamilton on the road, Toronto on the road. They crushed BC at home 37-18, 4-0 straight up, 4-0 against the spread. Everything's great in Riderville. Come off the bye week, and they fucking sucked against Calgary. I remember that game. They laid an egg. They were out of sync, totally out of sync. They were flat. You could see it right from the get-go. This is not the same Saskatchewan team. They were bad off the bye. They lost 24-10 to Calgary. Trevor Harris and the offense easily had their worst game of the season there. And then last year they had issues off the bye week as well. And this is a very similar situation. Rolling going into the bye week. Saskatchewan, big blowout against Montreal on the road. Now off a bye week. Everyone talking about how great they are. 7-1. And I worry about another egg being laid. Now, the concern here for Hamilton is I liked Hamilton here in this spot early in the week getting points. And Hamilton, this is where you want Hamilton. You don't want to lay points with Hamilton. Last week was a perfect example of that. That's why I like BC in that spot last week. It was a perfect spot to fade Hamilton. But now they're back in the role where they're on the road. They're getting points. They're 4-0 straight up, 4-0 against the spread. Their last 4 road games. They've been a good road team this season, Hamilton. Now they're getting points. And yeah, Ticats first half, Andrew. I'm thinking that. I'm thinking in this game, that's probably where I'll go, because I am concerned as the game goes on here. If they don't have the Catman, Katsantonis, and Jamal Peters in that secondary, I do worry about that as the game goes on. As someone that already took Hamilton full game, plus I got 4.5 on Hamilton. Really good number. It was only out there at a couple of books. Botano in Ontario had plus 4.5, minus 120 on Hamilton on Monday, and I jumped on that. Now it's 3.5 market wide right now. But like I said, there's things that concern me. Is Saskatchewan the better team? Yes. Did this line look dirt cheap on Saskatchewan when I first saw it? 3.5. Yes, no question. And Hamilton long term, other than one game, I think a couple years ago, Hamilton's had problems in Saskatchewan. But Saskatchewan has been not the greatest. That's the one issue with Mace. Mace has done a great job here in 2 years, but he's not been the greatest coach off a bye, especially when they've been playing well going into the bye. They've lost their edge. They kind of get complacent, like they did against Calgary earlier this year coming off the bye, and I worry about that against now a Hamilton team that's angry, coming off a tough, frustrating overtime loss at home to BC last week. So, like I said, I think I'd be concerned about this spot a little for Saskatchewan here. So, but the secondary issues are a concern for Hamilton. I am worried about that. So I'm debating here. I think the first half, because I think Saskatchewan could be flat early, because Saskatchewan was really bad in that first half. Again, now it never got better, but we did see a little pulse at least from Saskatchewan in the second half. First half was really rough for them against Calgary coming out of their first bye week when they were rolling going into it, much like they are here. So I feel like I'm going to go with Hamilton plus 2.5, minus 110 first half for an official play here.
Let's lock that in. And we're not going to have time because we got to get to baseball here. Ticats first half plus 2. What was the juice?
Minus 110.
Minus 110. We've had a huge move towards the BC Lions. Caleb Evans, ex-Louisiana Monroe Warhawk, starting here for the Alouettes. A huge move. The double result that I was talking about with Slatsy, he moved on at plus 110, now minus 120 It's just moving and moving 4.5 to 7. Justin McInnes and Eberhardt looked phenomenal with Rourke against Hamilton. Now they have a very angry Alouettes team. Touch on it here, and we got to be tight because we got to get an MLB.
Yeah, we can be quick here because this is the one game I have no bet this week. I think it's a tricky game. Like BC has destroyed Montreal repeatedly. Like BC owns Montreal right now. It's been a dominant series history. BC came back and stole one at the end from Montreal a couple weeks ago. Nathan Rourke leading that touchdown field goal drive at the end to come back and beat Montreal 21-20 at Percival Molson a few weeks ago. And now you look at Montreal since then. They did beat Toronto and Calgary after that, but barely. And that Toronto was the game where Davis Alexander got injured. And then, of course, the Calgary game was with MBT. But again, Vernon Adams got injured in that game, and PJ Walker had to finish it. And I think Montreal kind of took advantage of that. And then they just lose back-to-back against Saskatchewan and Edmonton. And it's looking like Caleb Evans is going to be the quarterback because McLeod Bethel-Thompson's on the 6-game injured list. Cameron Dukes got signed, the former Toronto Argo quarterback, but he's not going to start. He just got there. So it's going to be Caleb Evans here. It's just, and the receiving corps is decimated. Injuries galore still for Montreal, as Slatsy's aware of. And they haven't practiced much. They have one practice this week, Montreal, because of excessive heat.
Today?
They restricted practice all week for the Alouettes. So it's a very... But there's no chance in hell I'm getting there with BC at 6.5, 7 now. With that defense, BC's defense is still a problem. They won in spite of the defense against Hamilton. They still gave up points. They still gave up yards. I still don't like laying this kind of a number with BC. And Montreal, here's the one nugget from Montreal. I know it's a leap of faith. They're struggling. They're injury riddled. They didn't practice much this week. Caleb Evans is at quarterback. It's been a nightmare for them in BC. I get all that. But the one nugget for Montreal backers that might be interested in taking them here, Montreal as an underdog of +6 or more going back to 2023, perfect 6-0 against the spread. They have been tremendous getting bigger points like this. So, but I don't know if I want to trust them in their quarterback situation and their injuries and flying out there where they've never been any good out there in BC. They've struggled repeatedly. They didn't have much practice this week. So at the current numbers, Jimmy, this is about as easy a pass as it gets. I will say one thing. I do lean to the under in this game. Montreal without McLeod, without Davis Alexander, 5-0 to the under. It's been dink and dunk passing. It's been run the football, rely on our defense, shorten the game. That's been the mindset for the Alouettes. A lot of unders since Davis Alexander's been out. I would lean that way here.
I'm also waiting for when to put the Alouettes Grey Cup in my pocket. Of course,
Davis Alexander gets back. That's when you do it.
But you have to do it before then.
Before he gets back. Oh yeah, definitely before that start that he gets back. Yeah.
If they get badly hit here, then I'll move on it. Yeah. Probably on Sunday.
There's enough now to keep me off BC at the current numbers. I don't want to lay this many with them in that defense. And again, Montreal 6-0 ATS run when they're getting 6 or more points.
Bobano, we are 20 minutes away from MLB. Let's get rolling there. Quick review of Bobano's official action, fresh off sweeping the board last week. Ticats first half +2 at -110. I do believe
2.5. I think Hamilton. Yeah, 2.5.
Oh, was it 2.5?
2.5 -110.
Plus 2.5 -110. I am a believer that Corey Mace in the second season as coach will figure out how to handle the bye.
Got to figure out the bye. Wait, he didn't do it against Calgary. We'll see if he can improve on that here. Yeah.
Elks team total over 27.5. Toronto team total over 25.5, and the over 52. This total is climbing and climbing and climbing. It's going to be empty and cold in Edmonton, and I'm thinking about on Friday night betting the under in that game. And I know it sounds crazy. I'll have it officially set for us tomorrow. Bobano also on the Ottawa team total over 22.5 and the over 52 in Ottawa, Winnipeg. Let's get into Major League Baseball. Bobano, let's roll here. 1:05 p.m. Eastern with the Seattle Mariners and the Baltimore Orioles. Sorry, I guess Jose is double shifting right now. So I apologize that we didn't get the right games up for that. Sorry, give me 1 second here. And we will get into our baseball right now. Let's roll here. Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. Let's get into the weather. First, we have Ballpark Pal up and Adam AM on the under 10, projected 9.5. We have TJ on the under 10 and Baltimore first 5. We are, again, 18 minutes away from the first pitch in Charm City. This is our lone afternoon baseball game, 90 Fahrenheit. Feels like 97, 4.5 miles per hour in. There's going to be light rain late. We're not sure if it will affect the game. It's possible that it won't, but do keep an eye on it. Let's get into the line history here for this spot and the cash flow. By the way, Ballpark Pal has Oriole Park or Camden plus 11% runs, plus 3% homers, plus 7% doubles and triples, and plus 8% singles. Line history wise, here we had a move towards Logan Evans and the Seattle Mariners. It's come back, which makes sense to me because Sugano's finally starting to pitch with consistency. And he's a pitcher I lost a lot of money with earlier in the year, but he's pitching better right now. Seattle minus 124 is at minus 124 right now. Open 6:40 p.m. there right now. Baltimore opened up at plus 112. They're now plus 115. From a total side of things here, we have a 9.5. It's minus 116 to the under. This opened up at 10, and 6 minutes later was a 9.5. Got back to 10 at 7:30 in the morning and stayed there until about 10 to 10, and it bounced back and forth a couple times before sticking at 9.5 and moving towards the under. Let's get into the cash flow here with you guys. We have 55% of tickets, 51% of the cash on the Seattle Mariners, 62% of tickets on the under, and 51% of cash on the over. Logan Evans, 6-4, 4.36 ERA, 1.39 whip, 57 strikeouts over 74 and a third. His last start, he went 5 1/3, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, 3 walks, a 7-4 win at home versus Tampa. It's not at home where he's has issues. It's on the road. He's had 7 road starts. He's pitched in 36 1/3 innings. He allowed 49 hits in those 36 1/3. He's allowed 22 earned runs in those 36 1/3. He's allowed 8 homers on the road, just 5 at home. His opponents are hitting 325 against him on the road. Sugano coming off a very impressive home start now. His consecutive home starts. His home numbers were poor initially, but they are starting to improve. 11 starts, 29 earned runs. He's allowed 64 hits in 63 innings. Lefties hitting 267, 789 against them. Righties 265, 730. Mariners are not hitting right now against right-handed pitching. We know that they've had reinforcements come in and they're winning baseball games, but 217, 672 OPS versus righties. And the Orioles, same deal, 234, 700 OPS. Mariners bullpen, though, has been very good, even though Munoz has looked a little bit susceptible. 3.13 ERA, 1.19 whip over the last 30 days. And the Orioles bullpen, as they have been season long, looks atrocious. 5.43 ERA, 1.63 whip. Here we go, Bobano. 15 minutes until first pitch. Charm City, Baltimore, Maryland. Take it away.
Yeah, I lean at this price certainly to Seattle, although Sugano has been a kind of a fade pitcher for me, but I've got to put a little respect to his name and the fact that, these last few home starts have been much better. 3 runs, 6 innings against the Mets, victory for Baltimore. 1 run, 6 innings against Colorado, victory for Baltimore. 1 run, 7 innings against the Athletics, victory for Baltimore. The last 3 home starts for Sugano. So he's pitched a lot better, and they've won all 3 of those games. The big walk-off win there for the Orioles last night, Jackson Holiday in the 9th inning. Seattle was rolling going into that game, but they obviously have the win streak snapped at 8 with that loss. Don't always love backing a team when they have a long win streak snapped. Sometimes, you lose one, you lose a couple after that, and I'm not sure Logan Evans and laying a price with him on the road is something I want to do, even though I lean Seattle here. His last road start in particular was not very pretty. 6 runs, 4.2 innings against the A's. We'll see if he can fare a little bit better here, but we are talking about a guy that away from home this year is a 5.59 ERA. That's not very good. So Cal Raleigh, big dumper, not in the lineup. Good point by someone in the chat. That's certainly one of their bigger bats that'll be missing here for this game. So Ballpark Pal loves run enhancement in this game. So initially I leaned over, but like I said, with the way the pitching has gone in this series, like we've had 2 unders, and they really haven't even been close here in the first 2 games of this series. So it's a lean to Seattle and the over, but no bet for me.
I believe there's a advantage with Sugano at home against Logan Evans on the road.
Yeah.
The books 365 is saying it's a 10-cent advantage to the final line. I wonder if it's more than that. We have the
and even though Seattle's a much better overall record, by the 13 above 500, Baltimore 12 below 500. Obviously, we know anyone can win baseball any given day. If you look at home versus road, Seattle's only 1 game above 500 on the road, and Baltimore's only 1 game below 500 at home. So there's not much of a difference, home road records and splits here with these 2 teams.
Alex Jackson catching for Baltimore. So not only is Rowley out, but Adley Rutschman is out as well. I know that the dumper is the main guy here. So it's a 10-cent difference, 365, a 10-cent difference on the Orioles' first 5.
All 3 of those Sugano wins at home, by the way, were unders as well. So like I said, there's too many things that are unsettled for me with this game. So there's no movement for me.
Let's see the difference of price in an offshore, sharp offshore. We have the price difference here as 15 cents. And I agree with it. I agree with all of this. I agree that there should be a real legitimate price difference for the Orioles' first 5. And so I will bet them right now. I will bet them at 365 at plus 100. And I will send it in right this very minute. Now, Bobano, I am capping the 2 Friday games in NFL here at the end of the show so that I can pick some spots on the weekend for us to cap on tomorrow's show, spots that I will bet. Is there anything that you like in NFL that you want us to know about for our capping of NFL over the next couple of shows?
This is one of those weeks where coming off, both teams have played games already. I'm a little bit more interested in, really dissecting and waiting closer to kickoff to move on a lot of these. Obviously, the main storyline coming out of last week is 14-2 to the over with the games. I mean, that's going to level off a little bit. This is going to be closer to 50-50 split, I think, with totals for overs and unders this week. It's not going to be 14-2 again, like it was last week, especially with the average line total going up this week in a pretty big way. I'll just throw out a couple of sides that I'm interested in. I am interested in of the Friday games. I'm interested in Tennessee, even though that line has moved to 4.5. Like Raheem Morris has been bad here in the preseason. 0-4 straight up, 0-4 against the spread. The Atlanta Falcons in the preseason as head coach Raheem Morris. So they don't look like a team that's, and I don't really love their quarterback rotation either. And Tennessee kind of, Callahan, the new coach there, kind of getting after, second-year coach, getting after the team a little bit, as far as what they saw in the preseason opener. So I'm kind of interested in Tennessee, but haven't moved on it. As far as the weekend goes and some of those games, Las Vegas makes sense to me at home. Pete Carroll's first home preseason game. San Francisco is one of the most injury-riddled teams right now in training camp. And we saw it last week against Denver, where once the starters were out of there, or the first string were out of there, it was just all Denver the rest of that game. That's a team that's just trying to stay healthy right now, the 49ers. So for the regular season when September rolls around. So I've got again, I'm not making anything official right now on the show, but I've got Las Vegas circled. I've got Tennessee circled. I already have the over in pocket with Buffalo and Chicago. Once it was announced that Caleb Williams was going to get some playing time here for the Bears and start this game. And they have a great preseason quarterback rotation, the Chicago Bears this year. They got guys that they can throw in there from the first quarter to the fourth quarter that can go in there, make plays, and move the football. And Buffalo, I don't mind their quarterback rotation either. They got Trubisky and they've got Bouchel, and they've got guys that can go in there and move the football for them later in the game with some experience. So that definitely helps. So, I'm definitely picking my spots with overs this week. There's going to be some unders. There's going to be a little bit of a correction when it comes to totals, but I do think that one is a good over. If you're looking for a good over this week, I think it's that Sunday nighter there with Buffalo and Chicago.
I love it. I love it. I have taken the notes. I've moved on the Orioles first 5, but the late Sunday over.
I'm going to actually give you 2 baseball plays for today before I get out of here. Official plays.
And we have great news, Bobano. We have our update from Peter Loshak at Bet Bash in Las Vegas right after Best Bets from Bobano here in MLB. Bobano, take it away.
Las Vegas ain't going to be the same after Peter Loshak's descended upon there. So good stuff. Pete, I hope he's doing well. All right. Braves and Mets over 8.5 minus 120 for me. Braves and Mets over 8.5 minus 120. Obviously, the first 2 games have been very high score. I debated, do I do the Mets team total again? But the Mets bullpen is just, we saw it last night. It's just, it's a problem right now. The pitching staff's a problem right now. And Senga, yeah, the overall number is 2.3 ERA. This guy hasn't been good here since the All-Star break. He's looked like a different Kodai Senga. He has allowed 14 runs in his last 16 innings. That's not good. And 15 hits during that span. So he has struggled. He's not going to give you any length. This guy never, ever, ever, ever pitches more than 4 or 5 innings. So you're going to see a lot of that Mets bullpen, which has been a problem lately. And then on the other side, Bryce Elder's kind of a fade pitcher for me. I don't trust him much. So I see runs again there. Braves and Mets over 8.5 minus 120. And another over for me on the card. It's the highest total on the board, Jimmy, but it's high for a reason. It's Arizona, Colorado, over 12 for me, minus 110, over 12 minus 1. Actually, you know, it's over 12 minus 115, best price out there, but it should be a lot of runs in that matchup. It's stinking hot, very, very hot in Denver tonight. Wind blowing out a decent amount. And we've seen these games at Coors Field with conditions like that really fly over the total. Neither pitcher's that great in that matchup, in my opinion. Eduardo Rodriguez at this stage of his career for Arizona, and that ballpark's a concern. Not a big fan of Blaylock either for Colorado, and the Rockies bullpen, we know how bad it's been, especially at home. So a lot of runs there, over 12, Diamondbacks, Rockies.
You got it, my man. Thank you so much for sharing your action with us. TJ also on that over, and the pig milk play of the day from Billy Friedrich also on that over as well.
Considered the days, but I don't want to fade Matt Boyd. I think Matt Boyd's been pretty good, so I don't want to go against him.
I mean, that David Price trade was excellent for the Blue Jays, but he was a pitcher that we all thought highly of, and he's finally showing it. Bobano, tell us what's going on the big Hitting the Books YouTube channel with you and Connor Mack.
Lots. First of all the season preview videos are up on the channel. All the season preview shows that C-Mac and I did for all the Power 4 conferences and the Group of 5 conference preview show, they're all up, so check it out, Hitting the Books YouTube channel. We're back on Friday for an MLB show. Next week, Monday, August the 18th is our season premiere of college football, Hitting the Books, where it's our weekly show, Mondays, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, breaking down the card for the upcoming week. Next Monday, very much looking forward to that, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And then our baseball shows will be Tuesdays and Fridays starting next week. So Hitting the Books YouTube channel, Connor Mack and yours truly, excited about that. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Jimmy, good luck to you. Good luck to everyone watching and listening. And next Saturday, August 23rd, Woodbine Racetrack. We'll be there, and very much looking forward to that.
I cannot wait. Bobano, my man, thank you as always, the star of Thursday Action. We go from Ian Cameron in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada's black and yellow, to Las Vegas, Nevada, and the star of Loshak in the Bag, the aforementioned Peter Loshak, joining us from Vegas. Peter, how are you, my man? How is Vegas?
I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good, you know. Very interesting stuff going on here. Meeting people.
So, you are implying some extracurricular activities going on, I'm guessing. How was the speed dating sesh?
That very, very interesting. I don't even know. It's very, very interesting. I met a trader from Pinnacle for 25 years.
At the speed dating sesh?
Yes, I met Joe Petta, the writer of Trading Bases, who's one of my personal heroes. Do you know that guy?
That book, absolutely phenomenal.
Can you believe that? I looked at it and I met him, and in my fantasy, I was hoping he would be like, "You are so cool. Can we be like BFFs?" And I'd be like, "Sure," but he was just like, "Oh, very nice to meet you." So yeah, it wasn't
It
disappointing.
changed my life. That book changed my life.
I was sitting right in front of him. I was starstruck. I was, yeah.
Wow. Is he still heavy in the game? Is he still heavy gambling? I would predict that he would not. He would leave it. My prediction of him would that he would not be heavy, and that he would then kind of go back to Wall Street, sort of.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought, and that's what he did. He retired, but then he got coaxed out of retirement, not to be a bettor, but to help with exchanges.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, he was retired. Then he came back out of it.
It sounds like you met a lot of men at this speed dating.
There are I don't know how many guys there are here. I think there's 3 chicks. Taylor Mathis is here. Another one, I can't remember her name, and then there's another one who I don't recognize. And then of course there's Paris, the former CEO of Pinnacle. She's getting inducted into all, so she's there. That's 4. That's it. Literally.
That's a tough speed dating session.
Yeah.
Pete, what other stories do you have before we get into Major League Baseball? Have you moved on this game at 1:05 p.m.?
Oh man, a lot of interesting shit on these games. Let me see. I did hit a couple of well, might have been I hit the under on that one. I don't know where it is now.
It's moving heavily in that direction.
Yeah, I hit the under. The Cubs game, I hit that under and leaning towards Toronto. What else did I hit? I hit the over in the Colorado game, and that's it, I think.
And
I hit Atlanta a little bit.
Is there any other wild tomfoolery going on there that you would like to let us know about?
Not really wild tomfoolery, but deep, intense worldwide market discussions all over the place, and it's very interesting. It's humbling, it's sobering, it's interesting, it's terrifying, it's great.
So, what is in store for you this evening?
I might have to shave because I like to have jokes, but I'm meeting people. I get the feeling they don't really take me that seriously, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And then a little later on, I was like, maybe it's the mustache. No, I'm kidding around.
Thank God.
I'm not going to shave.
Okay,
well, you got more seminars and all that shit, and actually tonight there's some kind of I don't know if I'm going to do it. It's like a puzzle scavenger hunt. That's like with a big cash bonus, but it's like really hard and for nerds. And, so I might do it, but it's just like really embarrassing to not be that smart. You know what I mean? So, but I might do it anyway.
I've been a part of 0 scavenger hunts in my life. So I'm not a help. Not a help there, but I don't know what to say. Do you have pirate in your background?
Do I have what?
Any family members that were pirates? Did you spend any time around the Horn of Africa? Pete?
Who? I don't even know who my grandparents were. I don't know about fucking, beyond that.
All right.
They were probably pretty weird. I don't know, man. Really don't know.
Class acts, I'm sure. Pete, we need more updates. So can we?
Yeah.
Is it possible to get one tomorrow? Can we get you?
Sure.
Back? Okay.
Pete,
beautiful.
before you go,
Yeah.
What was another interesting person you met at this speed dating thing?
Well, Sean Higgs is definitely interesting.
John was there?
Yeah. I met. I did. Yeah, I guess none of this is like really proprietary or whatever. I met Spooky. I don't know if you know who that guy is, but that guy, he won Circa Survivor 2 years ago, and so I was talking with him quite a bit. I met some other people that I won't mention on the air. And then last night, maybe I don't know. I was so tired, and then I had to get up at 5:30 this morning or 5 this morning, so I didn't go to like the last night free open.
Why
bar.
did you have to get up so early?
Because the MLB lines start moving at 5:30 a.m. Vegas time, and so I went to a small gathering of people who were
Sure.
looking at the worldwide market, sharing what they look at, what they do. It's very informative. It's only like 15 of us there, and I could have gone out anyway, but I was very tired, and yeah, might have been a mistake, but I just went to bed early last night.
Oh, Pete, your tales of all male speed dating sessions are wild, man. They're wild.
Yeah, that's not what we expected yesterday when you said you were going to a speed dating thing. That's not what we expected.
Joe Petta. I would lose my mind. That'd be.
I did.
That guy.
What was even worse was that he was the number 15 date I went on, and the other 14 were all before me, and. I mean, he was very, very nice, and he definitely liked me, but he wasn't like, let's be BFFs.
If I could meet him, if I could tell him the story of what happened to me after reading that book, I think he would love it. But I don't really, because we got.
I told him the story about, which is absolutely true, which is the day before Gunn passed, we were talking extensively, and that was one of the things I told him. I told him about the book, and I was like, yeah, I'll send it to you. And he was like, man, that book sounds great. Yeah, send it to me. And I sent him the PDF, even though, obviously I knew he probably wouldn't have time to read it or whatever, or be able to read it. But yeah, the last conversation I had with Gunn was that was in it, and I told Petta about that. He said it gave me chills. Really
it's nice. Wild, because I gave The Undoing Project to the Puzzler. The next day I went to the hospital and his bed was empty and he had died.
Yeah,
it's wild how that Vegas Gunn was such an important person. Vegas Gunn we don't talk about enough.
Yeah,
Vegas Gunn, I miss him so dearly. He was such a wonderful, wonderful man and such a great, courageous. Everything he did, sports gambling to defeating cancer. It was very special, very, very special. Pete, thank you so much for rocking with us. But the Joe Petta thing is just wild to me.
Yeah,
I started a investment thing with it was like a hedge fund basically where I was selling shares from that book. Now not nearly as intelligent. He's way beyond anything I could do. But right. I started selling shares of the Seahawks and the 49ers with Kaepernick and Wilson at quarterback. And the problem was I didn't risk enough because they met in the NFC final. I was so right. They were saving the $25 million. They were getting $25 million value out of their quarterbacks for $600,000, which gave them $24.4 more million to put into their football team. And I knew that was an advantage we could take advantage of. I just didn't risk enough. I was too, I was just learning how to do it. I should have been, because it couldn't have worked out any better with that meeting in the conference finals. What a wonderful stories. Please, Peter, join us tomorrow and give us more stories of these hugely important people in our lives.
Yes, and let us know how the Hall of Fame goes. And if
that's tomorrow night, yeah.
Well, beautiful. Let us know how the Taylor Mathis is doing, because she was the only woman that you could point out, and I wonder why.
No, there was a couple others. But man, great stories, Peter. Thank you for making time for us, my friend, and can't wait to hear more about it tomorrow morning.
Okay.
There he is, the legend Peter Loshak at Bet Bash in Vegas right now. It's time to get back to MLB baseball. Please welcome our friend, our star of Thursdays here. His Cubbies against my Blue Jays in 2 hours here up in Toronto, Ontario. Please welcome our friend, Mr. Morgan Spooner, to the show. Spooner, what's good, man?
Hey, what's good? Great to hear stories from Loshak. That's an amazing story, getting to meet the author of Trading Bases. That's an awesome trip to Vegas, worth the price of admission alone right there.
I got that book in the bookstore in Portland. It's the greatest bookstore I've ever been to in my life. I forget what it's called. It's this famous bookstore in Portland. It had the biggest sports section I've ever seen in my life. Ever. And so I think we were there I was there with Sonny Dollywall too. We were there for about 4 or 5 hours just sitting there until we were dragged away by our girlfriends, angrily dragged away. That book, Trading Bases, that was the first book that just completely rocked me, where I couldn't stop thinking about it. Everywhere I went, everything, I was just like, it was spectacular. And I know that some of it is dated now, but please read it if you get a chance. Spooner, did you move on game 1 today that popped off 6 minutes ago?
Nope. I was kind of waiting to see if that line would come down at all. I wanted Baltimore at like plus 120 was the price that I had circled. If I could have gotten there, I probably would have moved on it. But I didn't think there was enough value there. Logan Evans is a different pitcher on the road, but it's tough to back Sagano in his own right, even though he's looked pretty decent his last few outings. I needed a little bit more plus money than that to get on the Baltimore side.
I hear that. I feel good about having Sugano here against Logan Evans. We'll see how it bangs out. It's funny. Spooner, we so often, you and I talk about the psychology behind our decision making and our gambling and all that. I have never been in this state of mediocrity every single day. And I'm going to go back and see how long it's been now. Every single day, I'm the most I've been up is 2.01 units for the last 2 or 3 weeks in a day. But I haven't gone down 2 units in a day. Like, it's just, I'm just sitting, and I guess I need to think about it a little more because it's still a roller coaster ride, but it ends up where I'm like, I guess the circle's, it's like the done poem. It's just the circle.
I feel that, Jim, because that's my entire season right now. That felt like my entire season. I'm now up literally 0.01 units. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I've made over 400 bets. And I'm just borderline mediocre average right now, just zero. I'm like, this is crazy.
And to add to it, to this, very interesting to what TJ said, that there is a lot of that there is a belief that there is a lot of truth behind the unders being hammered in Major League Baseball. And then it goes even further with people saying to me, why do you bet baseball? Because the public is already being eliminated. And I don't believe that, but that this time of the year, the public has already lost so much in baseball that they're not around anymore, and that you are dealing with a very, very sharp market. And that's why baseball is the only sport where you have all these heavy tickets on the under. Oh, what do you think about that, Spooner?
I think there's some truth to that statement. I don't think the public's completely been eliminated, but I think the majority of if you want to say public, also recreational better kind of people, I don't think they're hammering unders. I don't think they're looking at that big six, the money line, the spread. I think they're just looking at different player prop, doing stuff like that. So the lines that you're worried about aren't being influenced by the public as much. I think that's kind of true for the whole season, but definitely becomes more true after the All-Star break. I think MLB's better market than trying to bet into the NFL, to be honest. I think the NFL is the sport that I would be like, why are you trying to bet the NFL? If I were going to,
the books make so much money on it.
Yeah.
It's a very advanced market. I think probably 75% of the money you see on totals, money lines, spreads in Major League Baseball is from very sharp people or big groups that are moving a ton of money. So I think there's some truth to that statement. And I only know so much. I only know what I know. So
I know that AM disagrees with me completely, but I'll double down. As soon as the first week of NFL starts, there is the least amount of the weak rec gamblers betting baseball than the rec gamblers in any other sport. Heavy by huge margin, by absolutely enormous margin. But it's part of the fun is we don't need to agree.
I would agree with that, and college football too. People are going to start fleeing when that starts as well. By the way, Spoons, can you double check your mic settings for me?
Yep, I got you.
Thank
All
you.
right, let's roll here. We head to Toronto. Now, being wrong about the roof cost me a winning MLB day, and I don't understand it. I couldn't understand it. Sitting outside, it's gorgeous all night, no rain. I don't understand now who's making these decisions. It's a real issue.
Jimmy, I've done a bunch of research into that roof. They won't release information anymore until 2 hours before the game. You can call the stadium straight up, say I have tickets to the game. I want to know what's where. They won't tell you. That they're making the decision on that roof based completely on precipitation in the area. If there's a chance that it's going to get rained on, they're not going to take the chance of looking like fools and having a roof and have a rain delay. And I've been looking back in the history of the stadium. I can't find a lot of instances where they've opened the roof mid-game. It's kind of a controversial decision. It's in the rule book that they're allowed to, but it's not something they've been known to do. So I think the roof is either open or it's closed. And if there's a chance of rain early in the game or during the game at all that scares them, they're just going to have to close it.
Have you called the stadium before, Spoons, and asked like, "Hey, I'm going to the game"? Have you done that? Because it sounds like something you've done before.
I have 2 numbers saved for Rogers Center in my phone.
I love it. All right, let's get to work here. Turnbuckle Tommy saying huge U-shaped movement in the game back to the Blue Jays.
Great.
We have Matthew Boyd, 11-5, 2.45 ERA, 1.05 WHIP. Ex-Blue Jay, came up through our system, was in the David Price trade, and he's doing exactly what we believed he was capable of back then, long time ago. God damn, that was a long time ago. That's what, 9 years ago, or was that more than that? Was that 2016?
Yeah,
last start, 5 innings,
ago.
7 hits, 3 earned runs, no homers, 3 Ks, no walks, and a 5-0 loss at the Cardinals. The books indicated that he was susceptible in that game, and that's what happened. On the road this year, he's been strong. 24 earned runs in 12 starts, 259 opponents' batting average. He's allowed 4 home runs on the road, 7 at home, and the splits are really strong. Maximus Scherzer on the other side. Maximilian Scherzer, 2-2, 4.21 ERA, 1.11 WHIP. He's pitching better than I expected him to pitch this year. He's a gamer. The guy's just a gamer. He's just, you can't ever question how bad he wants it. I think that's something that I did when he was, when he left the Tigers and, when he was chasing the bag. But he really wants to pitch and pitch at the highest quality that he's capable of. Last start, he allowed 2 earned runs over 6 innings at the Dodgers. He was very good at home this year. He's had 5 starts. He's not gone deep, overall 23 innings, but 11 earned runs in 5 starts is not that bad. 6 home runs allowed, 244 opponents batting average. Lefties are hitting him harder than righties. Cubs are not hitting right now, 231, 684 OPS last 30 days, while the Jays versus lefties, 279, 820 OPS. All of a sudden, this Jays bullpen has been atrocious. 6.38 ERA, 1.48 WHIP over the last 30 days. The Cubs bullpen's been bad for a while, 5.04 ERA, 1.24 WHIP. So now it's absolutely gorgeous here today. So the roof has to be open.
No chance for precipitation. I agree with that completely.
82 Fahrenheit, feels like 84. 6.3 miles per hour out to left center, dies down to 4.5 miles per hour to left center. Crystal Craig says they'll also close the roof until if there's a heat or humidity advisory. It's been 40 degrees. My place north of Toronto 3 times this week. It's a lot hotter in the city. That's interesting. I've been at the Jays stadium, Crystal, when it's been so ridiculously hot. People are passing out all over the place. I've not. Maybe when there's an actual heat warning in effect, I'd be interested to see that happening. But it makes sense. But God, I've been there where it's been hot. AM on the under 8.5 at -115. So with the roof expected to be open, plus 4% homers, plus 5% doubles and triples, minus 4% singles. It's a plus 1% overall. There's our guy, Just My 2 Cents in the house. Sorry, the Locker Room Talk podcast celebrated their 100th episode this past week. Please check it out and support it. We get to the line history here for this one. We have, here we go. The total is an 8, -114 to the under. This opened up at 8.5, -116 to the under. In 4 hours and 3 minutes, it became an 8. Then it came to a 7.5 at 9:58 this morning. Back up to 8 for a cup of coffee. It's back. It's actually 6 minutes ago. Moved back to 7.5. Not the most legit 7.5. -114 to the over and plus 102 to the under. Let's get into the money line here. The money line has Scherzer at -103. Opened up now -102. Opened up -113. That means the Cubbies have gone from plus 102 to -106. So let's talk about the U-shaped movement that we found. Plus 102 at 6:40 p.m. becomes -110 at 6:35 a.m. So a 12-cent move in 12 hours. It stays around -110. It stays around -110. I do not see U-shaped movement here at this book. I just see a move towards the Cubs and then a slight bit of buyback. I would say a slight bit of buyback. Chris Warren looking at the under 8 here in this spot. Now let's take a look at the board. Let's take a look at the cash flow here. We have 60% of the tickets and 78% of the cash on the Chicago Cubs and Boyd. We have 67% of tickets on the under and 74% of cash on the over. Wow. That is a surprise. Here we go, Spooner. Your Chicago Cubs at the Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario. Take it away.
Yeah, I have the Cubs money line minus 105 on my card today. I don't see any U-shaped movement at all in the books that I trust. I just see 8 cents of movement towards the Chicago Cubs away from Toronto. So that doesn't bother me at all. I do generally respect U-shaped movement in lines, especially if you see it across some of the sharper books that are out there. But I think this is a really good matchup for the Cubs. We look at this Blue Jays lineup. It's already officially out there. You don't have Alejandro Kirk in it. You still don't have the Astros bat. I'm suddenly blanking on his name. He's missed like the last 12 games for them, and he's been a really big missing piece in that lineup. Yes, Springer. They've been sub 500 without them, and that includes a sweep of the Colorado Rockies. I just think this Blue Jays team needs a couple more bats in that lineup. Davis Schneider in the leadoff position, it just leaves a lot to be desired, in my opinion. The Chicago Cubs are adding a bat to this lineup today. His name's Owen Cassie. He's a Canadian native, a lefty hitter who's just been destroying right-handed pitching in the minor leagues so far this year, an OPS north of 1,000, which is a really good number, way above average. And if we look at Max Scherzer, he's struggled with lefties now going back a few seasons. His xFIP is borderline 5 versus lefties this season. And that's a lot of the major bats for the Cubs today. That's Michael Busch, Kyle Tucker, Pete Crow Armstrong, Owen Cassie. I'm not sure if you'll see Ian Happ in there or not today. This is a spot where I really like the Chicago Cubs. I think value-wise, I would have this line probably opened up as the Cubs as a favorite, especially knowing that Kirk and Springer are not in that lineup. I think Springer is going to be coming back really soon. He's been cleared to play down in Buffalo. So, you'll have reinforcements coming, but that's not going to affect anything in this game. I also really like Matthew Boyd to bounce back from a bad game. 5 innings pitched, 3 earned runs for a lot of pitchers in a bad game. But for Matthew Boyd this season, that's been one of his worst games. 7 hits, I think, is the most hits he's given up to anyone all season. The Blue Jays bats have been hitting lefties on the full season, and they've really been swinging the bats pretty well. But of recent at home, their last 14 days, they're 21st in OPS at home. And that's a big change from where they've been at for the whole season. They've been top 3, top 5 in baseball in just about any offensive category. So I think we're just at a point where there's some value with the Cubs because the Blue Jays are a little banged up and the Cubs are healthy and they really need some wins here.
So this is official action.
Yep, minus 105 Chicago Cubs.
Minus 105 for the Cubs. These games are all very fun. We don't have Spooner for very long here, but good God, could I sit in this game for another 10 minutes? Jose, your action.
I'll just piggyback off of Spoons here, and I'll join him on the Chicago Cubs. I'm going to take them first 5 because I am petrified of the Cubs bullpen. First 5 money line minus 115, and we can roll right along so we can keep using our boy Spoons here.
Oh, God, I want more time with this game, though. I hear that. Cubs first 5 was what? Sorry, Jose?
Minus 115.
I want more time here, but I can let it go and just kind of keep sitting on it here. Dougie Wise, free bands play of the day is the Toronto Blue Jays. I really wonder if this total is getting too low. I couldn't bet an under in this game. I can't, just with the way that these teams are hitting, and we didn't see it last night, but we sort of did. How many of the Cubs balls against Gossman when they swang at the first pitch went to the warning track and went to the wall? I couldn't believe how many. It was just
hurt my feelings.
Sorry?
It hurt my feelings. I agree with you.
No, but it was my fault. The roof being closed, created a situation where those weren't going yard. And so I felt terrible about it. Big Zoe cashing the Nerfy, still looking for that first 3 under 2.5. Well, so the Jays are hitting lefties hard. This isn't the scariest lineup for the Jays, but I tell you, Clement has been just raking against lefties all year long. Schneider, Clement, Guerrero, Bichette, France. So you have the 5 righties. Straw, Heineman been destroying lefties Only lefties in the lineup are Barger and then Loperfido turning the lineup over. Scherzer has been getting better every single start. And I wonder if he delivers here, honestly. We have a Cubbies Angels parlay for Papa Ricky Levine's a boy making a move there. Respect Papa Ricky in the house. All right, so I'm going to do nothing at this point. But I am curious as just a price difference scenario here. There's, I think, an advantage, a clear advantage. You know what? Let me ask you this. We're expecting the bats to turn around. Was that a sign that the bats are going to turn around last night, or are you still very concerned, Spooner, about the Cubs sticks?
I'm still a little concerned with the Cubs sticks. Like I said at the deadline, I was hoping they'd add another bat or two, but I think Owen Cassie will bring some new life to this lineup. Still on the full season versus right-handed pitching, they're top 5 in baseball against. I mean, that's with every stat counted in: WRC plus, OPS, weighted on base. I know recently it's been a little bit of a struggle, but I'm not that worried about it. I think baseball is a sport of regression. I think they'll continue to turn around. I don't think this is a great spot for Scherzer at all.
I am close.
And I'd push back on they've been killing lefties since the break. Like, who are these lefties that they're killing? Carson Palmquist and Kyle Freeland. And getting 11 earned runs in less than 6 innings off the two of them really makes those numbers spike up quite a bit.
It skews them because even with those two, their power numbers are not big. They're hitting a high average. They're getting on base, but their power numbers have not been that dangerous. They're destroying righties right now, but not lefties. I agree with you that Rockies series is a little. It does skew the numbers here. I might do what Deacon's saying with the over 8 and just move on. I might do it. Let's roll on Spooner on the Cubs full game. Jose on the Cubs first 5. Free bands play today's Blue Jays first 5 plus a half.
Spoons, it's nice being on the same side for once.
I know. Yeah. Nice job with that Reds game yesterday. They had no shot the entire time.
And your bastard Tigers, your bastard Tigers, 1-0, just teased me the whole time.
We have Ronnie Lofton on the Cubs money line with the under 8.5 at plus 250. Chris Warren looking at the under. AM has the under, and I'm looking at the over at this point, but I don't know if I get there. We'll make some decisions here. Action Jackson in Vegas. I love to hear it, man. Run into Lodels.
Oh my God.
Run into Lodels Low Shack. What a chance you have. Let's roll on, fellas. Next up for us, 6:40 p.m. Eastern, Miami Marlins 58 and 62, 30 and 31 on the road at the Cleveland Guardians, 62 and 57, 30 and 28 at Homer Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. Let's get into the weather here. We have, and let me make sure that I've got everything set up for here. Sorry, we have Stacks, of course, coming on. We've got the Pig Milks in the Arizona game, and the Stacks is with Harper and with Frankie Lindor. So Harper and Lindor. So not yet, but Stacks will be joining us here shortly. We have an official play from Matty Ice. He is on the Miami Marlins. AM on the under 7.5. Let's get that all copied and pasted here. It is 81 Fahrenheit. Feels like 81. 7.2 miles per hour in. Dies down at 4.5 miles per hour. Let's get this all set up here so I can go over it when I get my action in. Edward Cabrera going up against Tanner Bybee. This is crazy. I try to quantify or try and find the puzzle with this. Tanner Bybee in his last 6 starts has gone 32 1/3 innings. He's allowed 21 earned runs, 7 home runs. He's allowed 36 hits and 32 1/3. The Guardians are 6-0.
That's funny.
Edward Cabrera going up against Tanner Bybee. Cabrera 6-5, 3.08 ERA, 1.13 WHIP, 108 innings, 114 Ks, 35 walks, 12 home runs. He's coming off a brilliant start at Atlanta. This is a very talented pitcher who's been spectacular on the road. We get to the expectation of the Daily Stadium report here. Progressive Field plus 5% overall, plus 3% homers, plus 7% doubles and triples, and plus 1% singles. the splits are very strong for Cabrera. If you guys are noticing when I'm firing on first 3 unders and things of that ilk, a small percentage of the time is when I believe the splits, lefties, righties, are in my favor, depending on the lineup. But most of the time, I just want even splits. I don't want any problem areas. I don't want any concerns. I just want everything to be kind of clean. And so it appeals to me enormously when I don't see extreme splits with lefty and righty bats. That's personally with me. Bybee's last start, he allowed 4 earned runs over 5 1/3 at the White Sox, walked 4 batters, 9-5 win. He has been much better at home. He's been terrible on the road, but they've been winning whether he's at home or on the road. Rod Zawacki says, bet on Tanner Bybee on the money line at home with a money line of -100, -150. Bybee's team record since 2023, 17-2. Turnbuckle Tommy says, Bybee 6-0 in Bybee's home starts. Rob Free says, Guardians and A's are just 2 teams that fuck me either way. And we always have, everybody has that, Rob, or pitchers like Freeland, guys like that I just stay away from. There's nothing, that's totally legitimate and not, Marlins versus righties 263, 778. Guardians versus righties 241, 725. The Marlins bullpen 4.61 ERA, 1.32 WHIP last 30 days. Guardians bullpen 3.22 ERA, 1.05 WHIP. They've just been delivering. There's the Skunt Blaster in the house. I will copy and paste that. Let's discuss this one here right now. Line history. We have the 7.5 with -114 to the under. 13-cent move to the under, despite how bad Bybee's been in his last few starts. And again, remember, he's been much better at home. And then on the money line here, we have the Guardians at -117. They opened up at -121, basically a tightening of VIG, the tiniest of tiny moves towards the Marlins. And then when we get to the cash flow here, we have 75% of tickets on the under, 90% of cash, 53% of tickets on the Guardians, 60% of cash on the Marlins. Take it away, Spooner. Marlins, Guardians.
Yeah, I got the Miami Marlins last night at +110. I kind of wish I had waited. I predicted on the show, I thought a more fair price in this game was -135, -140 to Cleveland. And in the middle of the night, it got up to that number. You could have gotten the Miami side at like +120-ish. This is a spot where there's been U-shaped movement. Cleveland opened -120 at the book I respect the most, and they opened at -122, and they're back to -120 right now. So I think that's a good sign for my Miami bet here. I struggled a little bit at open, just kind of looking at Edward Cabrera. You talk about the difference in splits. He's been elite at getting righties out. He's been average versus lefties. He hasn't been bad versus lefties, but a little bit of a red flag when you're talking about Cleveland team. This ballpark isn't projected as offensively as it was yesterday, so I think that helps Cabrera here. I think he can navigate this Cleveland Guardians lineup pretty well. There's just a few bats that I'm really worried with at all. You have Manzardo, you have Ramirez and Kwan, but outside of that, this Cleveland lineup just leaves a lot to be desired as far as good hitting bats. And Miami's really been getting to righties lately. You go back their last 6 games, they've scored 5 runs 3 times, 6 runs once, 4 runs once. Really getting to righties. Tanner Bybee on the same aspect. His last 3 outings, he's given up 4 earned runs, gave up 3 earned runs to start before that, and 5 and 4 to Houston right before that. So he's been giving up a ton of runs. I know the Cleveland Guardians have been winning his games, but sometimes you just have anomalies like that where stuff adds up. But I think the Marlins versus right-handed pitching are going to be just fine versus Tanner Bybee today. And I think Edward Cabrera goes out and continues to have the best season of his career. Coming off a game where he went 8 innings pitched, just gave up 1 earned run, just 1 walk. His walks have really come down on the season. We go back his last 5 games. He has 2 games where he's only given up 1 walk, 2 games where he's given up 0. If you had told me that coming into the season, I'd be really excited to see Edward Cabrera pitching because, I mean, this guy's finally putting it all together. I think this Cleveland lineup, who's 25th in baseball WRC plus on the full season versus right-handed pitching, is not going to have an easy day versus this guy. Miami money line +110 on my card, full game. I shout out TJ. He's on the first 5.
And again, Spooner, because we don't have the actual markets for first fives, does that lead you to want to keep? Talk to me about the psychology of staying away from first fives and focusing on full games, please. And for the people who are following you and capping with you every day.
So, I cap an entire baseball game. I don't cap part of the baseball game. I think the 5th and 6th inning offer a ton of variance. It's that point in the ball game where the manager's making the decision to leave a pitcher in or pull him out. And it's pretty common stat among all starting pitchers that the second and third time through the order are not as strong as the first time through the order. Once the batters have gotten a few looks at your stuff for the day, you only have so many tricks up your sleeve, and you can kind of decide which pitch you're going to sit there and wait on. And that second, third time through the order makes a big difference. I hate to be on a game where I have the first 5 circled. I want to move on the first 5, and something happens right there in the bottom of the 5th inning that cost me my game, and they immediately come back out, get that run back, and end up winning the game. I cap the bullpen into every single game. I think bullpens are a really huge part of baseball, and I don't see any value in crossing that off. I think a lot of people spend a little too much time overvaluing the starters when they're pitching 55% of the innings in a lot of these games.
You don't feel the Guardians have a real legitimate advantage in the bullpen right now?
Absolutely not.
They didn't 6 weeks ago, but with Clase leaving, and sorry, expand on it, my man.
I mean, Bender, Henriquez, Foucher, I think these are some really good bullpen arms. All have ERAs under 3. Actually, Foucher's is 3.5, but 2.72, 2.25. These guys are racking up holds and saves. Some really good arms back there. They all had the day off yesterday. I think those are 3 very capable arms of getting me from the 6th inning to the 9th inning. Cleveland, we've talked about it a lot. Their closer is gone. Clase has been the anchor for this bullpen for a long time. Puts Cade Smith in a position he's not as comfortable pitching. So we're talking about Eric Sabrowski being one of the most relied upon arms in this bullpen. There's not a huge advantage in my mind at all. I see numbers on paper, but when I'm trying to build this from the bottom up, I see a very close bullpen situation here, a pitching situation, starting pitching situation that lends it to Edward Cabrera. And I believe the Miami bats are better than the Cleveland bats.
We can, again, I like to focus on the last 30 days, but for me, the last 30 days, we can completely statistically back up that the Marlins bats are much more dangerous than the Guardians bats. But over the last 30 days, I think this Guardians bullpen is faring much better than the Marlins bullpen. But there's a real issue here, and you touch on it, that the Marlins' top arms in that bullpen have been very good. It's the weaker arms or the lesser arms for a low-budget franchise that have been trashed. Here we have, we had Josh Benedict say people overvalue the starting pitchers. It's about price. You're absolutely right. And I know that for a fact because I did that. When I started capping baseball, I really, really overvalued starting pitching to a ridiculous degree. So I know that is an issue here. Jose Bouquett, Marlins, Guardians. Spooner has moved on the Marlins. Matty Ice is on the Marlins. And the spreadsheet play of the day from our guy, Ron Crawford, is on the Miami Marlins. Ron Crawford!
Marlins first 5. I'm just a little more scared of the bullpen, so I just eliminated. I'll take Edward versus Tanner Bybee here. So -110 for me, Miami.
Marlins first 5. What was that? Sorry, -110?
Yep.
-110. Spooner, and you got +110, was that, Spooner?
Yep, +110.
Well, great job there. Absolutely great job. We have a taint coming up here in a second. I'm going to need more time with this game. Look, Cabrera's just pitching at an elite level, and Spooner nailed it with him finally cutting down walks. Nailed it. My issue is Bybee. 16 earned runs in his last 3 starts. One of them came at home against the Twins, but the Twins are hitting now. It's wild that that's the case. The more I look at Bybee starts, of course, we want to focus on his home starts. And I don't think we should look past that twin start just because, they're hitting. He had a quality start against the Orioles. He had a quality start against the Blue Jays. He had a quality start against the Astros. And then you have to go back to May for him not to have a quality start. So but then I would love to tell you guys right now that it's the first 3 under. But I still have fear of Tanner Bybee, and I don't see how I would let go of it. Nutflush is adding to his team total here. TJ says the books have made the game clear. Miami first 5, 10 to 15 cents price here. Now, look, here at 365, there's a 10-cent difference in price. You remember yesterday where I was like, oh, God, I have to break my rule and bet the Astros first 5 -0.5 because the difference was 35 cents after Walker Buehler had gone 7 innings and not allowed to run. I think there are extremely telling signs and there are smaller signs, and this one just isn't as extreme to me. And JW, it is Bybee. You can spell it phonetically as much as you'd like. Let's roll on here. 6:45 p.m. Eastern. We have big action here for this. We have a special guest popping up. We also have, not only do we have a special guest popping up, but we have a little bit of taint. We go from taint to our next guest, the star of the Stacks play of the day. Please welcome our guy, Justin Mcelvy.
Stacks.
Justin, what's good, man? How are you?
Pretty good. How are you, Jimmy? Spoon, what's good?
I am pumped up for this slate of action. I like a little bit of a smaller slate, and then as soon as like 4 p.m. comes, it's all Friday action. Friday cards are just like we've been crushing them. It was a problem my whole career, and I've finally gotten through it, and I cannot wait to cap tomorrow's enormous card. We have the taint play of the day here. It is Phillies run line. Phillies run line -1.5. We also have Stacks play of the day number 1. Why don't you take over and tell us Stacks, my friend?
Yeah, I can be pretty quick with this. I'm Stacks play today number 1 is Bryce Harper over 1.5 bases. I got that at -110. I love this spot for him. 1 is against the Nationals. 2, we don't like this Brad Lord. Give me the righty-lefty split with Bryce Harper. I don't like this Brad Lord dude coming off a shutout, and he went 0 for 4 yesterday. I think this is a Philly spot. I think they put up a lot of runs. I'm on the team total. I passed up a 4.5 and pushed it to 5.5 for plus money. But the Stacks play today is Bryce Harper, but I think it's Phillies everything in this spot.
Are you making the Phillies team total official?
Absolutely.
Okay, Phillies team total over
5.5 plus 108.
Plus 108. I'm gonna line shop, see if I can get you better than that. Unless have you tweeted that out?
No, it was just a little personal bet, but I'm confident enough to make it official.
Cool. I'm gonna see if I can get you a better line than that. We got Metro Boomin. Also on Harper home run, AOD on Harper and Schwarber home run. Noel on that team total. He's using the 4.5. AM on the over 8.5. Spooner.
Yeah, my fault. I could have got a 4.5, but I used a different book to get plus my. I just think it's Phillies everything. Like a lot of people, some people say Brad Lord's okay, and he gonna shut the Phillies down. I don't see none of that. I think it's a huge Philly spot. They'll probably go over the total by themselves. Luzardo, I'm not a big fan of Luzardo, but it's about the Phillies bats in this spot coming off a shutout. Harper got 0 for 4. I think Brad Lord sucks.
Nathan Cerna says it's hard to go against our Lord, but he, 3-6, 3.28 ERA, 1.21 WHIP, 7 home runs allowed in 85 innings. He's coming off a great start at the Giants. Of course, that's a run-suppressing ballpark. We don't expect him to be getting that here, and he's being worse at home than he's been on the road. Let's talk about the weather here in Washington. 85 Fahrenheit, feels like 94, 3.6 miles per hour right to left, and it's right to left slightly in, but then it becomes fully in, but it dies down here. Let's get to the daily stadium report here. National Park plus 14%, plus 8% homers, plus 18% doubles and triples. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you. Let's get them in the best line available. I'll look at a couple spots too. And plus 4% singles. Line history here. We have the Washington Nationals at plus 173. They opened up. Now they're at plus 167. Wow, they went down to plus 163 6 minutes ago. And then 3 minutes ago, there was 4 cents of buyback, or 5 cents on the Philly side, 4 cents on the Nat side. Overall, though, there's been a 17-cent move away from Philadelphia, and there's been an 11-cent move towards the Washington Nationals. From a total standpoint here, we have an 8.5. It's minus 115 to the over. This opened up at 9. It opened up pretty juiced to the under, so it's not a surprise that it went to 8.5. But it did go back up to 9, and now we're at 8.5, juiced to the over. We can call it maybe a quarter of a run move, but I wouldn't call it too much more than that. Let's go into the cash flow here for Nats, Phillies. A lot of our colleagues with action on this one. 68% of the tickets on Philadelphia, 68% of cash on Washington. 66% of the tickets on the over and 53% cash on the over. So we're starting to see a little bit more overs here. Luzardo, 11-5, 4.20 ERA, 1.35 WHIP, coming off a great start at Texas. You're not in Texas anymore. That's a very run-suppressing ballpark. This is a very offensive one. On the road this year, Luzardo has struggled. Now, Spooner pointed out earlier in the year when he was dealing with these pitch tipping situations, which does make it more difficult to break down his numbers. Righty's hitting 278, 768 against him. For Brad Lord, he's been in 12 road starts for Luzardo, he's allowed 38 earned runs, points hitting 270 against him. Now he's only allowed 7 home runs in 67 2/3. You would expect that to be higher. It's not that high. He's allowed 7 on the road and 5 at home. Brad Lord here has had 19. He's pitched in 19 games. He started 5. He's stretched out right now, and lefties hit him a lot harder than righties. And that was part of the breakdown here, and that's why Harper is being backed by Justin. The Phillies versus righties last 30 days, 254, 804 OPS. Nats versus lefties, just 208, 606. All those lefty bats. And all those lefty bats with the Nats and Luzardo, lefties are hitting 198 with 481 OPS against them. And how many lefty bats do you think will be in the lineup? There's going to be some. There's going to be a few. Then bullpens. Nats bullpen, horrible all year long. 5.68 ERA, 1.68 WHIP last 30 days, while the Phillies bullpen, 4.02 ERA, 1.07 WHIP. Take it away for us here, Spooner. Phillies, Nats.
Yeah, I'm on the under in this game. I got an under 9 at minus 120. Jesus Luzardo, you mentioned his numbers versus righties, but I don't think that really comes into play when we're talking about the Washington Nationals, who all their good bats are left-handed hitters. He's got a 0.86 WHIP and a 1.6 xFIP versus lefties on the full season. Those are really impressive numbers, especially when you factor in those tip pitching incidents that he had earlier this season. I think Luzardo is in a good spot to be successful today. I know we've seen some runs scored at this Washington Nationals park over the course of the season, but a lot of that's due to a bad Washington Nationals bullpen. I don't make too much out of just the single season numbers. They've always been a middle of the road scoring park. So I'm not too worried about this being an offensive park. On the opposite side, we have Brad Lord. He's making his 5th start now for the Washington Nationals, and he's been very serviceable since he's moved to the starting position. In those 4 starts, he's given up over 1 earned run just 1 time, and that was to a red-hot Milwaukee Brewers offense. And he only gave up 3 earned runs in 5 innings. Not a huge red flag for me or anything. His last start out there was against the San Francisco Giants. Went 6 innings pitched, just 4 hits, 2 walks, just the 1 earned run. I think Brad Lord comes out there and keeps the Washington Nationals in this game for the first 5 or 6 innings. The big
red flag for me here is going to be the Washington Nationals bullpen. And I think the Phillies may be able to get a few runs off them, but I think it still stays under this total of 9. When I'm looking at the line history, I see a little bit different story than you, but I mean, it tells a similar story. I saw an 8.5 open at the book I trust the most. It jumped up to 9 for just a couple hours, and then it came right back down to 8.5. So it's that U-shaped movement that I like to see. There was 88% of the cash on the over at the time on the 8.5, and that's why it moved to the 9. And since then, the cash has really equaled out on both sides on that book. So I think this is a good sign for the under here. I think Jesus Luzardo is in for a really good start. I think Brad Lord's in for a decent start. I don't know that he only gives up 1 earned run versus this Phillies offense, but I think this is a really good spot.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting breakdown. Last home start for Lord was against the hot hitting Brewers. 3 earned runs over 4 2/3, isn't that bad for what we've seen from that outfit. Then he faced the Reds before that. He's only had, not very many. He started last 4 games, but few and far in between before that. And that was a pretty nice start against the Reds, not hitting nearly like the Brewers, but the very interesting Matty Ice Taint play today, Phillies run line. We have Stacks on Harper over 1.5 bases. We have Stacks also Stacks also on the Phillies team total over 5.5. We did find a plus 115. I still think I can beat that. I got a little caught up in my own shit, so I'll keep looking for that one. And Stacks sticks with us for our next game. But Jose, we haven't heard your take here on Philadelphia Phillies Washington Nationals.
I've got nothing much here. I don't want to back either squad here right now, especially the Phillies at this price, so I'll pass.
Let's roll on here to our next spot on the board. And Spooner, how long do we have you for, my friend? I know you got to get back to work, and we want to make sure that we utilize every second of you being here.
About 15 minutes or so, 15 to 20. 20 is a hard out.
Okay, great. We can work with that. Thank you, my friend. Let's move on. We have Braves Mets. Now, Bobano gave us the over 8.5 here in this one. I love how we've evolved as a group of gamblers so much, because I would have lost my shirt on the game yesterday, Mets Braves, and I would have been so angry. It's possible I could have taken the team total as well, as part of my huge fade of the Braves yesterday and Cookie Carrasco. But with that line not moving and the red flags surrounding that type of a situation that seems so obvious, it took me to be 45 to understand the gravity of a situation like that, and not to lose my shirt, not to hate baseball, not to keep my family together, etc. We're in Citi Field in Queens, New York for another meeting between these two teams. Mets were doing nothing with their sticks, come back home, and are now hitting. Let's see what we have here weather-wise. 85 Fahrenheit, feels like 91, 4.5 miles per hour out to left center, dies down to 2.7 miles per hour. Rob Free Bands is got his action here in the chat, our friend Rob Free, and it is correlated with our guy Justin Mcelvy. So before I break down this action or set up the story, Justin, why don't you roll with why you like everything that Rob Free is doing here? Take it away.
I don't have my other phone's charging, so I can't see the chat. But Stacks play today, number 2, Francisco Lindor. Real simple. He's 4 for 7 off of Elder. He got 3 extra base hits and a bomb. I don't like Elder, period. I'm not. Y'all know I'm a Braves fan, but I'm done defending him this year. But Elder is like the worst of the worst. He's going to be the next one. He's going to follow Carrasco. Like, we're going to get rid of him, too. Like, he's horrible. So, but Stacks play today, number 2 is Francisco Lindor. I got that at plus 107.
Rob Free also on Lindor over 1.5 bases. Ballpark Pal has Citi Field minus 6%. That's pretty good for Citi Field. Plus 7% homers, minus 13% doubles and triples, and minus 6% singles. Bryce Elder, a 6.12 ERA, 1.56 whip last start. Started out pretty well, and then, of course, as Elder does, it fucked it up. 6 innings, 5 earned runs in a 5-1 loss at home to the Marlins. On the road this year, he's allowed 32 earned runs in 9 starts. He's allowed 10 home runs on the road, 262 opponent's batting average. The 10 home runs have come in 51 in a third innings, so it's pretty ugly stuff. 10 on the road, 8 at home. We have Jays Mets moneyline parlay for Gorky here. Irish King on the first 5 for the Mets, minus a half, and team total overs. Kodai Senga, on the other hand, coming off 3-2 loss at the Brewers. Look, he should probably be faded. I don't know. I should say he should probably be faded on the road, but he's more susceptible on the road. Here at home, he's had 9 starts. He's allowed 12 earned runs, and the market has completely indicated at what times he's been vulnerable at home, and he has been. Other than that, he's been lights out. Only 35 hits allowed and 44 2/3. Well, he's only allowed 4 home runs at home this year. Lefties hit him a little harder than righties, but his splits are fine. Braves versus righties last 30 days, 234, 733 OPS. Mets versus righties last 30 days, 247, 753 OPS. Mets bullpen starting to pitch. I mean, it's such a Jekyll and Hyde bullpen, but right now, over the last 30 days of sample size, 3.74 ERA, 1.23 whip, while the Braves bullpen has a 5.47 ERA, 1.37 whip. We take a look at this line history. This total here is an 9. It's minus 119 to the under. This has opened up at 8.5, minus 112 to the over. Got up to 9, back to 8.5 around noon, back up to 9. It's not a real 9, plus 105 to the over. That is kind of a fishy spot. And then here, the most important thing for me is if we see such a huge advantage like we do on the mound right now, like we did on the mound yesterday, why is this line not moving? Why? Minus 184 it opens at. This is 6:39 p.m. yesterday. This line doesn't move at all. So hopefully we'll come here and see that there's a lot of tickets and cash on the Braves, and that's why. But that's not the case. 78% of tickets and 75% of cash on the New York Mets. 74% of tickets and 51% cash on the under. Spooner, take it away. Our next spot on the board, Braves Mets.
Yeah, I bet this one last night as the game was going on. The Mets were up 6-4 at that point, and I was just looking at how this game I kind of projected to go, and I thought the bullpens would get pretty cooked in that game. The Mets went on to give up like 5 more runs in that very inning that I made the bet, but I got minus 106 over 8.5 at that point. If we look at Kodai Senga, he's a pitcher I really like, but if you're going to circle out one side of the plate to hit him, it's lefties, and the Braves still have some pretty good hitting lefties in that lineup. Profar, Olsen, Drake Baldwin, Harris, Albies. Like the lefties, if the Atlanta Braves are going to score runs, are the ones that are going to have to do the production for them. So I don't think it's necessarily a great matchup for Kodai Senga, who has a 1.43 whip to lefties on the season and a xFIP borderline 4.75. So I do expect the Braves to get a few runs off Senga before he gets out of this game. And on the opposite side, Bryce Elder's out there. We can get our over with just Bryce Elder. He's done it. Like, he didn't get out of the second inning versus Philadelphia, gave up 9 earned runs. Any way you want to cut it on the season for this guy, it's been rough. He gives up a ton of base runners. He walks guys. It's just a recipe for scoring runs. I mean, you see it in his ERA on the full season. He's got a 6.12 ERA. I think the Mets are very capable of getting some runs off Bryce Elder. This is a rivalry here between the Mets and the Braves, and the Mets really need to win some games if they want their playoff aspirations to stay alive. And I don't think they miss a chance to score a bunch of runs versus Bryce Elder. And at this point in time, the Mets have strengthened their bullpen, but it's really not that trustworthy to me. Senga gives up a couple runs. That bullpen gives up 1 run. I think Elder does the rest of the work for us. That over 8.5, I really like it. Minus 106.
Over 8.5, minus 106. You certainly got a great line on it, Spooner. Over 8.5, minus 106. You know, there was a time when I had high hopes for Bryce. 12-4 with a 3.81 ERA in 2023. Even in 2024, when he was terrible and it was a short season for him, he had a good start, at Citi Field. In 2023, when he looked, this was a highly thought of pitcher coming up. He didn't pitch at Citi Field. He looked great when he came up as a rookie in 2022. It's crazy how far he's fallen from grace. 2 of his last 3 starts on the road have been quality starts, except the one in Texas. He got destroyed. Jose Bouquett, Braves Mets.
Yeah, so I agree with Spoons on the over here, and it feels like I'm just copying off of Spoons today, which is funny, but I was thinking that Senga was vulnerable in this game, and I was like, do I want to bet the Braves? And I was like, backing Bryce Elder just doesn't seem like the most appealing thing in the world here. And then I sat here, I was like, well, if I think both are vulnerable, then it should be an over. Another little worry of mine is the bullpens for the Mets, fully rested. It's been bad, but it's fully rested right now. Diaz and Hensley haven't thrown in 3 days. Now neither has Tyler Rogers. So I want to bet the over in this game, but it might end up being a first 5 over. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I'll just bet the Braves team total over 3.5. Another bet I was looking at here, but it's funny. The first 5, I still have full game total 8.5 minus 125, but first 5 is already at 5 minus 120 to the under, obviously. But yeah, I feels like the over is the move here. I just have to figure out what and how am I going to bet it.
Well, you have time, and the O's have runners on the corners now with 1 out. Let's get this day off to a winning start. Let's get this run home. Let's roll on Jose.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah, my man.
Real quick, I got another play, but since Spoon's in a hurry, I can come on since it's tomorrow. I can come back once you're done with baseball. That way we don't hold Spoon up.
Yeah. Why don't we do that? Yeah. If you're, you got to be honest.
I don't have any bets left on the game, and I don't have a ton to offer in these last 2. Once we hit 215, I'll just pop out. It's fine. Stacks just stay on.
Yeah, we only have two spots left here.
Okay, I just wasn't trying to hold Spoon up. Okay.
No, it's cool. I respect that very much. We only have 2 spots left. Why don't we try to get through them here? Why don't you stick with us? Here? We'll cap these last 2 games together. Next up, and for the Mets Braves one, I don't feel it. We saw. I just have crazy deja vu. Everybody's seen an enormous amount of runs, so and I understand that Elder is clearly vulnerable here, and both bullpens have looked terrible. And we've seen a lot of runs, and the expectation that there'll be runs again, I completely understand, and I imagine you guys will cash. In saying that, I don't feel like I'm running to the window myself after seeing how many runs have been scored in the last 2 games just to hammer the over, but it does certainly make sense to me, and I'm not going to bet Senga. Oh, you asshole. Popped it up. I'm not going to bet Senga if this line's not going to move. The market's not going to say this is a cash cow situation. And if it did, I'd be on it. Literally, a 30-cent move to the Mets, I would be on double results and, maybe the run line or at least a -1. Let's move on. 7:40 p.m. Eastern. We have Target Field, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Tariq Skubal on the hill. 11-3, 2.35 ERA, 0.86 WHIP, 187 strikeouts over 145 in a third. He's been, spectacular. But his last start, 6-5 win at home versus the Angels, was a spot that I talked to both TJ and Spooner about a lot. The 7.5, not moving off the 7.5 made no sense to me. No sense at all. It didn't. It was just crazy to me with the situation that we were in front of, and so I bet the over. And I would never have X's and O's wise. On the road this year, he's allowed 15 earned runs in 10 starts. He's been lights out, but I don't know how many fans are going to be in Target Field this evening. I don't think very many. Let's take a look at the weather here tonight. We have 77 Fahrenheit, 11.6 miles per hour right to left and slightly in. It dies down at 10.7, and then there's drizzle that's going to come in at some point in the game. It's possible that it's not enough to delay it at all. Plus 6% overall runs at Target Field, homers +1, doubles and triples +11, and singles +1%. Nobody has a chance except obviously we watched him get touched in the last game, but lefties aren't hitting him, righties aren't hitting him. Bailey Ober, in his second start since returning from the left hip impingement, of which he missed a month for, he had a really nice start. Oh, God, go. Get down! Yeah! All right. At home this year, he's allowed 28 earned runs in 10 starts, 259 opponent's batting average. That last start was very good. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 4 Ks, 1 walk, and a 2-0 loss at home versus the Royals. Lefties have hit him hard. Righties have hit him hard. He's a pitcher that I've lost probably more. I believe I have a negative ROI backing him. There's times he's lights out. There's times he's so hittable. These bullpens have both been bad. The Tigers bullpen starting to round into form. The Tigers are still unable to hit righties for some reason. And the Twins, aren't hitting lefties. Now, Ballpark Pal has a target field is plus 6%. The wind should probably help some of the movement, especially for Ober coming from the right-hand side. The money line here is the Twins at plus 177. Now plus 179. They opened up at plus 186. The Tigers have gone from minus 210 to minus 196. And then from a total standpoint here, we have a 7.5 minus 108 to the under. This opened up minus 114 to the under. Take it away for us here, Spooner. I know you don't have action, but Tigers, Twins, your thoughts on Skubal and Bailey over here?
I think Skubal could give up a couple runs here today. I think the line's not necessarily respecting him that much. Open minus 190. Now it's to minus 196. It got all the way up to 215 at one point on the book that I'm tracking. And I don't think that's telling me that Skubal is going to go out there and be lights out. Guy's pitched incredible all season, not trying to take anything away from him, but it does look like you can get some runs off him in these last couple of games. Yeah, he got into the 7th inning versus Philadelphia, but they got 3 earned runs. The Angels just got 4 earned runs. Shout out Wine Time was all over Neto in that game. I think this is a spot where the Twins bats, like I look at this lineup up and down, and I just feel like they're not trying to win games. The way they're deploying their bullpen, everything, like it doesn't seem like they're trying to win games, but when you watch them out there on the field, it doesn't look like these players have given up. They won yesterday. They're certainly not trying to give away games. So I think Skubal is probably dealing with some arm fatigue with the amount of innings that he's thrown this season. And I think he's not quite as elite as he was 2 months ago when we were watching him out there. So I think I had an over 7 kind of circled if I had a chance to get it. Was the only bet I could kind of get on. Is Bailey Ober. I mean, you look at him, his last 7 starts, 5 earned, 7 earned, 4 earned, 7 earned, 7 earned, 4 earned. Had a real nice start versus the Royals last time out. But I think this is the perfect right-handed pitcher for the Detroit Tigers to get right against. Throws like 91-ish with his 4-seam fastball, and he throws it a bunch. The lefties in this order, I think, can take advantage of his splits. He's got a 5.25 xFIP versus lefties on the season. Tigers get 4 or 5 runs. Twins get 2 or 3 runs. I think 7's that number. And then I'm talking off starters, and then we get into the bullpens. I think this goes over, but at the 7.5 with the Skubal on the mound, I didn't feel like I was getting a great number.
Spooner, let me ask you this, and I know that we have you just for 5 more minutes here, but Bailey Ober coming off the left hip impingement, non-arm situation. Is it possible with what he showed in that home start versus the Royals, now he's got consecutive home starts, that while other pitchers are dealing with, arm fatigue, he is ready to show why he was a highly thought of pitcher in the first place in this start? Is it possible that he starts pitching at the level that we saw him pitch last year and the year before, which was not as consistent as a gambler would want it to be? Is Peter Lochak talking about when you're coming off the IL or the IR off or the DL or whatever you want to call it, that when it's not an arm injury, to get that first start out of the way, and that second start, third start, fourth start are usually very strong. If you had 6 weeks off, do you feel that at all after seeing what he did in that last start? 1 walk, 1 earned run, 4 hits, 4 Ks.
I mean, that It's certainly a good start. It's a good sign for him. He did the same thing in May versus that Kansas City lineup. Went 6 2/3, 1 earned, 7 hits, 1 walk. So another part of me thinks he just knows how to pitch to that Kansas City lineup. Both of those starts were at home, makes him feel comfortable. I do always like having a pitcher in back-to-back games at home. Just that whole idea of just being more comfortable, more in routine. Definitely helps these guys who just a fraction of an inch off matters so much by the time the ball hits the mound or hits the plate. So I could see Bailey Ober pitching well, but I don't want to put my money on it. Like you heard me say, I expect Detroit to touch him up. Like if I was a player prop guy, Kerry Carpenter would be on my card in multiple ways.
Very, very, very interesting and great breakdowns. I don't want to keep you any longer, my man. Thank you for sticking around for extra time. Spooner, go get that cash, please, before you leave right now. And Justin and Jose and I are going to talk a little more Tigers Twins before we go into our final game of the card, Diamondbacks Rockies. Can you please review your action here for Thursday, August 14th?
Yeah, so I have the Chicago Cubs -105 money line. I have the under 9 in the Phillies Nationals -120. I have the over 8.5 in the Mets Braves -106. And I have the Marlins money line +110.
I love it, Spooner. Go out there and get that cash. And thank you for all your hard work.
Good luck today, guys.
Much love, man. There he is, Morgan Spooner. I'll pop his X handle here in the chat. We have a 2-0 Orioles lead. Maybe I should just shut it down, Jose.
Shut the fuck down. Throttle it down. Winning days.
3-0 Orioles. Logan Evans doing Logan Evans type things. All right, Tigers.
What inning is it?
Sorry, say what, Justin?
What inning is it?
It is the bottom of the 4th inning. 3-0 Baltimore Orioles.
Did you have first 5 full game?
First 5.
Beautiful.
First 5. I don't want to mess.
First 5.
Yeah, I do not want to mess with that Orioles bullpen. Although yesterday the first 5 pushed and the full game cashed against these Mariners. Justin McKelvey, Tariq Screwball, Bailey Ober, Tigers, Twinkies. The Twins are 7 games over 500 at home. We can't pay attention to any of those stats after the mass exodus at the trade deadline. But what are your thoughts here, Justin? Tigers, Twins.
Yeah, since I'm still here, I'll make it official. I got a Spoon made me a little bit worried, but I'll still make it official. I'm on a Scooble over 8.5 strikeouts. I got that at +120 at Bet Rivers. So I think him coming off a back-to-back, I'm not even going to say bad starts, just not Scooble-like starts. His last 2. And I watched this same game. Only difference is I think the Tigers was on. I watched this game on Sunday night baseball. And Scooble was coming off a bad outing. And I want to say he punched out like 12 or 13. So I just think if this game go over, it's going to be all Tigers. But Scooble over 8.5 strikeouts, +120. I'll make that official since I'm here.
That's what Metro Boomin's saying right now. He's saying Screwball put 13 on them last time.
Yeah.
Coin saying 7.5 are starting to show in Toronto.
Yeah, it was Sunday night baseball. I watched the game, and he was out there just dealing like, and he was coming off a bad outing. I want to say against the Rangers the week before that. I could be wrong, but I know he had a bad outing before that. And I just learned you catch these pitchers off bad outings, that's what you want him. And his last 2 wasn't even bad. They just wasn't Scooble like.
I get it. Angry Screwball here against Minneapolis, Minnesota Twins here. Jose Bouquett, Tigers, Twins. Your thoughts?
I guess I'll be the asshole. I'll be the guy that's too drunk. I'll be the guy that tips over the punch bowl, soils himself in the party. Everyone,
just stick with too drunk, man. Why you got to go shit yourself and hit the punch bowl over?
I have to ruin the party. I really have to make a note and just ruin everyone's day here. I will be taking the Minnesota Twins first 5 +0.5, +125. I definitely considered taking their team total over 2.5, but it's -135 here. You know, Scooble, let's see it here. Let's see it. Prove that you can go down in this last half of the season, go win yourself the Cy Young, guide your team there, et cetera, et cetera. Prove it to me, you son of a bitch. Now, do I love that the Twins, since the start of this month, small sample size, 127 plate appearances against lefties, second worst in baseball, 69 weighted runs created plus. Do I love that? No. But this line not moving their way is interesting. I think Bailey Ober can hold it down, pitch well, and we can see ourselves out a 0-0, maybe even a 1-0 Twin, and I can put my balls in a punch bowl and feel good about it.
Jesus, Wesley Snips in the house here.
That's what they call me.
So you basically targeting Scooble, like.
Yeah, I want him. I want his neck.
I think that the reason that Jose is doing this is not. I mean, I'll let him answer that. Sorry, I shouldn't. But I think the fact that this line here for Scooball is not moving towards Scooball, it's moved 15 cents away from him. Now, you then okay. Mariners are have a runner on second, not out. Let's just see what the difference is, Jose. First five in full game.
They're definitely more expensive. I would, in my head, I was like, all right, minus 210, minus 250 at least.
Now this is a minus 210 here at 365, and first five they're minus 220, 10 cents. I'm thinking about doing what you're doing, but it would be first three.
Yeah, and I don't have that option, so that's I agree. And I don't want to go full game, and it's going to piss me off if the Twins end up finding a way to win this game. I don't want to go full game because Minnesota's bullpen 21st in this month. Bullpen ERA disgusting. Now, I will say Detroit, not much better, 19th bullpen ERA, a 5.66 FIP. Minnesota's bullpen ERA 4.14 with a 4.65 FIP. So,
wow! Shout out to our guy Jason Meyer, the El Dorado custodian, whom we've had the pleasure of rocking with at Pubapalooza. $50 dono here, the El Dorado custodian. Shout out to Robert Franklin, he said, and shout out to Jermaine. These cappers in the chat are monsters. We're very lucky to cap with them, and you are one of them as well, Jason. Thank you so much. That means a ton to us. Huge, monstrous $50 dono from our friend Jason Meyer, the El Dorado custodian here.
So am I the only one that thinks Ober's going to get crushed? Seems like I'm the only one to feel that way.
Yeah, I want to back Bailey over here. I want to. I have a feeling that he's going to. But what the hell? Why? Who cares about my feeling? It's second start back from a non-arm issue. His second start back from a non-arm issue. He shoved. Could he do that here? Nice job, Nasty Nate, cashing a first. Oh no! Oh, you had first three plus a half. Must have had first three plus a half. But great work, my man. All right, let's roll on. Grant Clarkson does like the over. Nate Cerner leading the Tigers first five. We have DC Capper all over the Tigers here. I'm interested in the first three plus a half. I don't know if I can get there at this point, but I'm interested in it. I don't see why I can't get 9 outs. So I will look at it for. I hate. This is cash in, cash out day at the end of play today. So obviously, if I can get this cash, it gets in my head a bit. It shouldn't, but it does. Let's talk about our final spot on the board here. We have TJ, who has given us the over, and he got that at 11.5. Bobano has given us the over in this next baseball game as well. Let me roll through this. Not only that, but we have another play of the day right here, right now on the over 12 in Arizona, Colorado.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118,
Dav Fenn expecting Scooball to be incredible after that last disappointment. I guess, there's truth to that because we like to say that he had 2 bad starts in a row, but he was lights out through 6 innings. He allowed 3 runs in the 7th inning. It was a Real Muto doubled. Castellanos hit a home run. Bang, bang. Coin says these two faced each other last week. Let's set this one up here and roll. We are getting into Stacks play of the day for WNBA here after this one, and then I'm going to break down 2 spots, the 2 Friday games in the NFL with you guys as well. We have Arizona Diamondbacks 59-62, 29-32 on the road at the Colorado Rockies. 32-88, 16-42 at home at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Eduardo Rodriguez, 4-7, 5.68 ERA, 1.68 WHIP, 19 home runs. His last start was at home over these very Rockies up against Bradley Blaylock, and he got tagged. He's struggled on the road all year. 317 opponents batting average on the road. Lefties are destroying him. Reverse splits for this lefty. Righties are hitting him hard too. 291, 855 OPS. Going up against Bradley Blaylock, who's been horrible this year through 43 in the third, 7.89 ERA, 1.71 WHIP. His last start, 4 2/3, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, 3 walks, and a 6-5 loss at the Diamondbacks. At home this year, he's been tagged, man. 4 starts, 5 appearances. He's thrown 20 2/3 innings. In those 20 2/3 innings, he's allowed 27 earned runs. And opponents are hitting 387 against him. Lefties against Bradley Blaylock are hitting 347 with a 966 OPS. Righties 325, 845 OPS. Diamondbacks are raking against righties right now. Last 30 days, 254, 780 OPS. And Rockies are smashing lefties, 264, 777 OPS. The Diamondbacks 3.95 ERA, 1.36 WHIP last 30 days has surprised us. The Rockies 7.67 ERA, 1.80 WHIP has been horrific. Eldorado Custodian, thank you so much for your support. Coin and a bunch of us just cashed that Baltimore first 5 money line. Excellent start to the day. Feels good, man. Feels good. This money line here has the Rockies at plus 154. They open up at plus 152, so we don't see movement on the side. On the total here for this one, we have a 12.5 now, and it's minus 111 to the over, which means we could see a 13. It's possible. A 13 could be here. Then when we get to the card here, we have 51% of the tickets on the over and 61% of the cash on the under. 52% of the tickets on the Diamondbacks, 65% of the cash. Now, Jose, I'd like to start with you here. So often, as we've been capping baseball together now over the years, we have seen zigzag situation. 2 pitchers get absolutely annihilated. They face the same lineups the next start, and they pitch much, much better. Now, nobody in the chat expects that to happen. AM now is on the under 12. Nice job, Nasty Nate, catching the Orioles' first 5. Take it away here for us, Jose Bouquett. Rockies, Diamondbacks.
Yeah, really high number here. And I was like, wow, is this like high for like a specific reason? And then you look at the last start for both of these guys, 5 earned runs each. And it's like, all right, well, if you give up 5 earned runs in your last start each, you give up 10 earned runs in like 5 innings, what choice are the bookmakers going to have but to put up a fucking 13, 12? You know, that you kind of have to at that point. So I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting. I agree with you, or I agree with the sentiment that I expect both these guys to come out here and pitch better. But the concern is that now we're in Coors. You know, I mean, obviously the other game was in Chase Field or whatever the fuck it's called in Arizona. So that's a little scary. I definitely lean under here. And I couldn't bet the Diamondbacks here at a minus 175 price either. No shot. So I'd lean Rockies and the over here, but I just haven't gotten there yet. And it feels like if you want to bet the over, you can just wait.
What the hell is wrong with Eduardo Rodriguez this year? Your countryman, Jose.
He's not good. Yeah, he's just not good. unfortunately. So, this is his first year being like semi-healthy. But I just don't think he's very good anymore.
Last year he went to Coors Field and was excellent. Had no problem whatsoever. I didn't go there in 2023. I don't think splits make sense to go too deep into this. I don't know if 2022 matters. He wasn't there in 2022, but he was there in 2024 and he looked excellent. He pitched excellent. Let's hear from Justin McCelvy, Diamondbacks, Rockies.
Yeah, I don't have nothing official. I don't even have a bet in this game yet. When I first looked at it, and something that you've been saying lately made me start looking more into it. And I feel like it'll help me, even though I'm not a big line reader type capper. But I seen this open at 11.5. And from every book that I've seen. And my first thought was, if we just seen this and there was a billion runs, why would it open up at 11.5 in Coors? But I can't be on the under in Coors. I can't bet no under in Coors. So I want to bet over, but I feel like, one, I missed the 11.5, and two, why is that where I've seen it open? Why didn't it open at 12.5? So my thing is 11.5. It just seemed like that was just too low for me, and it chased me off the over.
If this was any other park, Jose, would you say if this was any other baseball stadium in Major League Baseball, you would be on the zigzag expecting them to pitch better here?
Yeah, I think I'm still going to get on it, honestly. The under. And I'm still, and I'm just like, do I wait?
Yes. Wait. Oh, yes.
Because, it's 12.5 minus 120 right now. I mean, when you have 13, and I agree with Justin when he said this opened up at 11.5. I mean, again, both of these pitchers gave up 5 runs in the last start. 10 pitchers, and then like you have to open this up in my head at least 12 here. And the fact that they opened up at 11.5 is
telling.
Sus, as they say, Justin.
And I think that AM is right that right around before game time that there'll probably be some under money coming in, but I would wait at this point for at least a couple more hours, because when Penny's got it under 12.5 at minus 101. So even at once they moved it to 12.5, there's been 7 cents of movement to the over. Well, I guess that's not true. There's been more than that. There's been 11 cents of movement to the over since they moved it to 12.5. Huh.
That's wild.
TJ says, no, Blaylock is bad anywhere and terrible at home. Zigzag does not play here. It's a theory we hang too tightly to. And BJ says the market indicates the over is a good look. Plus 31% runs expected here at Daily Stadium Report. Plus 26% homers. Plus 24% doubles and triples. And plus 13% singles. Chris Warren on the Rockies money line.
I mean, if both these guys go 5 innings, 3 earned runs each, I'd be thrilled. I'd be thrilled with that.
Honestly, I think you'd want it a little bit better than that. I mean, if you're focusing on the zigzag with the starters, then shouldn't you focus on this first 5 under 6.5?
6.5, man. Such an absurd number. Such an absurd number.
Yeah, God. When you say 6.5, you're telling yourself, so after 5 innings, there can't be 7 runs. And you're like 7.
Yeah. I've taken first three under 3.5s and lost. I've cashed one of them, but I think I've lost more than that. TJ laughing, that's juice to the over. JT, the Diamondbacks versus righties last 30 days, 254 with a 780 OPS. Rockies versus lefties last 30 days, 264 with a 777 OPS. Well, that concludes our MLB action here for Thursday, August 14th. I'll go over some of the specialty spots on the board at the end of our breakdowns today. But for me, I cashed the Orioles' first 5. And
And that's it. I'm shutting it down.
He said the show's over. That's all, folks.
And that's it, guys. No more bets for me.
See y'all tomorrow.
You know,
did my job.
Money talks, man, and
I wish I could do that.
I want the over in this Cubbies game that pops off in 35 minutes. Now, I'm not entirely sure if I get there.
This man's not putting in another fucking bet today on the MLB, guys.
The only other spot I would want is the Twins first 5 plus a half, or sorry, first 3 plus a half. And scoop ball off of a bad start, I don't know if I get there.
When the show over, he's gonna shut it down, digging in tomorrow already.
Yeah,
I would like to do that.
This guy's fucking for sure done in baseball.
Yeah, it's over.
No shot. No.
He's gonna start capping WNBA.
Money talks, man.
Oh,
fucking,
God.
Come on, man. Isn't this, look, I know that we're supposed to have an entertaining show, but isn't this all about money? TJ says, I'm surprised you didn't like Miami first 5. No, I don't. I'm unsure if that's a big enough price advantage for Cabrera. I wonder if Bybee is capable of matching him right now. I'm not sure. Nasty Nate asking if we are racing tomorrow. $100 entry into the Cappers contest or the Survivor. That is for our silver and gold members. We're going to do our big announcement. We have a meeting here.
The horses are already lined up, ready to go. They're fucking eager. The horses are.
So we have entry into our Cappers contest or the Cappers contest or the Survivor. That is tomorrow. And for 4 straight Fridays, we will have $100 entry into our football pools. Now, Jose, please review your action before we hear Stacks play today for WNBA for tomorrow, which is great to get us set up for that 5-game card. So, Jose, your MLB action for today.
It's my favorite thing we do now. Just win a bet. Fuck it. No more. We're good here. It's my favorite thing now. Oh, God, that's good. And it's better than losing all your bets and having to come back from the abyss. So shout out to you for that 1-0 there. I'm on the Cubs first 5, -115. I am on the Marlins first 5, -110. I'm on the Braves Mets first 5 over 5 at even money. I am on the Minnesota Twins +0.5, +125. And hopefully by the end of the show, I will be officially on the the under in that last Colorado-Arizona game. So it should be very interesting. So no shutting it down over here. I didn't expect to have so many bets, but here we are. It's going to be a fun one.
Here we are, Jose, my friend. Jose, jump back when we do our close up for today's program. Let's hear from our guy, Justin Mcelvy. Review your action and then let us know tomorrow's stacks in WNBA.
Yeah, I got stacks play today. Number 1 is Bryce Harper over 1.5 bases -110. Stacks play today. Number 2 is Francisco Lindor over 1.5 bases at +107. Not stacks, just official play though. Tariq Skubal over 8.5 strikeouts. I got that at +120. And I forgot one. And the Phillies team total over 5.5. I think you said +115 is the best number you could get. Team total.
Yeah, +115. And I did set up to get another look at a book. Here we go. Let me just quickly look. So this is the Phillies team total here. Now, you know me in this situation, I would go for the 5. I still like those flat team totals so much. Here we can get. Oh yeah, they're only offering a 4.5 at -138. So you'd have to use multiple books. So the 5.5 at +115 at BetMGM.
Yeah, I'm about to say I bet it at 5.5. So
yeah, no,
I'd rather get the number that I bet it.
For real. Yeah, no, I get it.
And I'm not so like Spoon at first when he came on and gave the under. At first, I was like, damn. Then I was like, I could see this being like a 7-1, 6-2 type game.
Yeah.
I just think Philly going to go crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna give all of this another once over as soon as we're done this one. So I get it. Let's set us up for our study. What is stacks in WNBA?
Yeah, y'all actually gonna hear this from first because I'm gonna post it when I get off here before I get with the gentleman for the 2-3 zone. But stacks play today. It'll be number 1 because I'm putting it out first. I'm gonna put it out today. It's gonna be the Phoenix Mercury tomorrow, -3.5 at -110 at Fanatics. And I love this spot. And I shit the bed yesterday. I went to bed pissed off about the WNBA. Kind of irritating, but just motivated me. And this is another spot that I like. This is a revenge spot for the Mercury. The Aces beat them the last time. Mercury's still at home. And you got the Aces coming off a feel-good story with the win against the Liberty last night. You got the Mercury coming off a loss against the, my dream, I want to say it was. So I just think it's the perfect spot. I think this line going to grow. That's why I wanted to give it out today so y'all get ahead of it. But the Mercury -3.5, I think, coming off a loss, and you're back at home, and it's a revenge spot. I know this line going to grow before the show tomorrow. So stacks play today, number 1 for Friday.
Wow.
Is Phoenix Mercury -3.5.
Yeah, it's moving. So those of you who want it, bet it as soon as possible. It's at 3.65. It's already moved to 4.5.
Yeah, remember when I texted you this morning? I told that's why I wanted to give it out to you this morning.
No, it's great.
Anybody who looks ahead, not too many people look ahead to, and probably I wouldn't be looking. I would have looked tonight, but I was looking ahead because I got to record a video. And the first game when I went through the schedule, I was like, wait a minute, Mercury. And I went back. I'm like, damn, Aces beat them. Mercury coming off a loss. Vegas coming off a home I ain't gonna say upset win. It was favored, but a feel-good story win. The Aces needed that last night. So, and they got it done for us.
I was certain watching that game. Certain. Live bet it in the second quarter. I was just so certain. They just had that. They had that look, and Asia Wilson just had that look. Now I loved seeing her bang with Jonquel Jones. Like I liked why. That's the first game all year that I've actually enjoyed watching, where there was good basketball. And I don't mean to be too negative about the sport, but that's the first time where I was like, it's pretty good basketball, and we cashed it. And I wasn't.
What's funny about that? It's funny you say that, and you always want to say respectfully, but that's the first time I watched a full WNBA game and I didn't fall asleep. Like I really was, and I bet on WNBA games and fell asleep, and it's because I be watching them But yesterday, that game, that was the first one ever. And I've watched playoffs last year because I've been capping WNBA, but this is the first year I've gone official with it. I've capped the last 2 years, and I've been trying to get better and better before I was willing to make it official. And then this year I felt comfortable, and I still do. But I love the spot for the Mercury. And I ain't really big on line movement because I was in a storm, killed that line yesterday, and look up where it got me. Yeah, so I got him at plus 100, minus 105.
I feel like we sussed that out, man. Seriously, there was. You look at. So I had expected to like I told you to make 4 bets, and I only ended up making 1, and I would have gone 1 and 2 on the bets that I had planned to make. There was the one. And let's talk about it because I want to hear your thoughts on the rematch on Friday, and then we're going to get in the NFL. But the Atlanta were rested on the road together. I like that for any team. Get away from your home, get away from your problems, get away from your family, get away from whatever. Just be a team on the road with one sole focus, and that's to win. So they're on the road. They hadn't played since Sunday. And then looking at the Storm, I don't know how we think that they obviously had an issue. They weren't scoring. They bring in Brittany Sykes, and now she's got the ball nonstop. The rhythm is affected. It was easy for us to say, oh, this is when they get their first home win. But when you start digging deeper, what have they done with Brittany Sykes on the floor to say that they can beat a really good team in the WNBA and Atlanta is a really good team in WNBA? I feel like I was right with you completely 2 days, when we were 48 hours before the game. And the more I'm studying it, the more I'm sitting with it. And that's something we get to do in NFL, which I can't wait for in college football as well, when we have so much time to sit with the game and keep hammering it. I do not agree that think long, think wrong, and paralysis by overanalysis. I think that's all bullshit. I think that's something that lazy people say so they can stop working.
Yeah, I don't believe in that either.
What do you think happens in Vancouver tomorrow?
And time's running out because I need to make a pick in about an hour. And I haven't gotten there yet. I dug that game in, and my brain is clouded. It's still a road game. Now it's a road game for both teams. But maybe Seattle maybe they're just done. Like, and I don't know. I'm a Dream fan, so like, I kind of feel like I want to go to the Dream, but then it's like, okay, my mind is telling me you want to go to the team that just won, and that's not it. And I'm a Dream fan, so I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't. Like, I want to bet the over, but I don't trust Seattle to score. And half of me be like, rematch, but I can't say we. I put faith in this Seattle Storm team 2 times too many times, so I won't be on the Storm. I'm probably going to have to give out a prop and not even a side or a total as far as that game.
I kind of like the Dream too, but it goes against 2 important angles for me. To the total and the side. The side goes against it because you always like to back the team that loses when they play twice in a row, even though this is a neutral spot. But 2, with the total, that I always talk about how familiarity breeds contempt, and you're playing the same team again that just beat you in front of your home fans when you were favored to win. It's hard to not think that there's just a little bit more anger in this next game. So
anger like towards the over, or anger like more towards defense and under?
Other, more defense being played, more digging in, and more but we have 23 hours or so to attack it.
I'm probably going to end up giving out same person I gave out yesterday, NECA. Like, but the only thing, I like her at home, and this isn't at home. This is out your country.
Should be sold out. I would imagine it'll sell out.
Got to be, right?
I would imagine so. I would imagine, but I'll look into it. I'll have that info for us for tomorrow. For sure.
I'll have something by that time. At least a player prop. But I was looking at that but when I looked at the slate, the first thing my eyes popped out was the Mercury. And I know it's not supposed to be the first thing you see, you bet it. And I try to stay away from that, but everything adds up to me for this. And that's why I bet it. That's why I'm making it official today. And I'm posting it. As long as I can still get that line, I'm posting. If not, then y'all just get it. Well, I'll check when I should have posted it this morning, but.
Well, regardless, the market probably should just give you more confidence. And if you can keep it under 4.5 or under, I still think you probably fire at it. I'm going to study it a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I already bet it, so I'm comfortable with it. It's just a matter of if I'm going public with it or it's just going to be a bet.
I feel you. Great job, Justin. Look forward to continuing our battle against the books. Popping Justin's X handle in the chat. He's on his way to go film the 2-3 zone over at Tony's Picks with our friends Ramon Scott and Ron Crawford. Put his X handle in the chat. Please hit that link and support our guy Justin. Justin, any last words for the Capper Sporting Show?
No, I appreciate it. Can't wait to cap WNBA tomorrow. Let's have a day.
Let's do it. There he is, our guy Justin McKelvey. You know what I think we should do? Because we have Turnbuckle Tommy saying you're going to bet the over 8 in the Blue Jays game. I'll tell you straight up here. Again, there are people who don't believe these numbers, and there's complete autonomy with how you want to cap sports. You can care about the splits here, the ticket splits. You can disregard them. What matters is that you're succeeding, and by any means necessary. So here, seeing 72% of tickets on the under and 61% of cash on the over does throw me for a bit of a loop, because it feels to me like this has just been one-way traffic towards the under. And it's a huge baseball game. Scherzer's clearly getting better right now. Should be his wheelhouse. I mean, this guy is throwing 47 innings this year at the major league level, and he seems to be getting better with each start. The Cubs aren't hitting. The Jays' numbers versus lefties are skewed. You have Matthew Boyd, who came up in this organization, and I don't know if I need to get there. Let's take a second look at the line history and the cash flow here before we have first pitch. The steam towards the Cubs has continued. We've had 15 cents of line movement towards the Cubs, an opener of plus 102. They're now minus 113. We've had 4 cents of movement towards the Cubs in the last 15 minutes. Then from a total standpoint here, we have a 7.5. I mean, this is a... Ella, please. Sorry. We have a 7.5. It's minus 109 to the over. So now at 25 minutes before first pitch, we have the cheapest possible over. I'm just not in the market of, personally, I'm not in the market in going up against these line moves. It's not how I have a winning record or winning ROI over the season. If I beat baseball again this year, like we did last year, it's not it's something that it's taken a long time and so much, it's taken a lot of losing, honestly, to get to a point where I'm beating baseball. And it's not by saying, oh, I know better, the market's wrong. It's not from doing that. So I'm hesitant to bet the over. I'm sitting here with cash from that first 5 in the Orioles game. And I'm very fortunate that we have great cappers that come on these shows that have action on stuff that I don't have action on, because the most important thing for me is to win. I have to win, or there's just a lot at stake here and I could lose a lot. And so I'm hesitant to move on the over. I don't feel like there's a need for me to move on the over. And so I don't think I move on it. Here we go. Turnbuckle Tommy said, I would always love to back Jays, but agree the numbers against left-hand pitching are skewed and bats don't look good without Springer. Okay, so let's get to the NFL. Let's also give a shout out to our guy, the Skunt Bag play of the day. The guy, Skunt Blaster. It's Copa Libertadores. Universitario money line and DMB plus 285, double chance minus 115. I'll pop that here. He's going for a big payday. And shout out to our friend, the Skunt Blaster. Alec Dirks is on the Jays money line. Let's talk NFL. I felt like I was going to cash the Detroit Lions in the under. I really thought I'd be sitting here 6-2, but you never know. I could have lost both. The Falcons were driving. They were at, I believe they were at the Detroit 42 when Norris had the concussion. This is an important thing to start because the Atlanta Falcons, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, are hosting this affair against the Tennessee Titans. We've already heard from Bobano that he's looking towards the Tennessee Titans, that he's interested in the Tennessee Titans. And I want to talk this out here because I'm very close to the other side. I want to also touch on what we've seen so far with 14 overs and 2 unders in the NFL. Of course, that makes me want to look to bet unders. But our friend Nutflush Allen, and he does this, and he's done this for years. Ever since I met him, he finds the angle to attack. And you could say, well, it's simple. The angle is overs. And it's not as simple as it sounds. He has been betting every underdog team total over and has been printing cash. And I find that very appealing in this one. But I don't know if I'm going to get there because I want I really want the to bet unders here. This moved to 5. This moved to 5 on Tuesday at 9:30 this morning. Tuesday morning at 9:30. This opened up at 3 and it moved to 5. It looked like 5.5s were going to come and it could be a 6. It's turned the other way, and I think that makes sense. It's hard to find a 5 now. Let me just see if I can get one here for Atlanta because that's what I want here. And it's wrong. Here we go. I can, but it's minus 115. I may move on this now, but I want to talk about it with you guys. AM saying the Titans Falcons projected at 30.7. He is looking for an under here. So let's talk this one out. First off, we have Brian Callahan, coach of the Titans. 3-1. He was 3-0 last year. 0-1 to start the year. We have Raheem Morris, 5-10 overall as a coach in the preseason. We have Callahan telling us that Cam Ward will run the offense for 2 or 3 series, which just put money towards the Tennessee Titans. Let's take a look at the total here on this. This total is a 37.5. This climbed. It went from 36.5 all the way to 38.5, and then it started getting bet to the under. Now this 37.5 is minus 119 to the over. So here, I'm looking at a 38. I think there's a lot of 38s out there. Dougie Wise Penix is not playing, is the expectation here. That Penix is not playing at this point, but we'll discuss all of this here. Let's start with the Titans. They did not look good, and we're going to go over all this again tomorrow. I just thought it would be nice if we don't have to go over it all as in depth so that we can talk about, so I can break down some of the spots on Saturday and Sunday that I want to attack. Now, we talked about the overcashing nonstop. We talked about Callahan saying that Ward will be under center for 2 or 3 series. The Titans did not look good in their first preseason game. So Cam Ward was given 2 drives. The first one, 3 and out. Second one, an 11-play touchdown drive that finished off with a Tony Pollard 1-yard touchdown. Ward was 5 of 8 for 67 yards. I like what he did. You have to feed the loudest, most explosive wide receiver on your team, and that's Calvin Ridley. You gotta feed the big man, and he did that. He threw 3 passes to Calvin Ridley, 50 yards. The whole drive was 65 yards. 50 of the yards went to Calvin Ridley. I like what he's doing. I like all of that. Brandon Allen looked bad. He was 6 of 12 for 62 yards and an interception. There's an idea, that Brandon Allen will be better here. And this is an easy thing for people to say. Third stringer Tim Boyle came in and was like, if you think that was bad, watch this. And he was atrocious, abysmal. How many ABs can we? Abhorrent. He was 4-13 for 2 interceptions. One of them was returned to the house. I don't think that there's going to be any difference. Now, sure, they could be a little bit better, but look, they're playing with second and third stringers. They're bad. They're bad quarterbacks. Caleb Mullings ran 7 times for 33 yards. Julius Chestnut ran 3 times for 18 yards. The offense only put up 201 yards. And not only that, though, and for people who are looking at the under, their defense was completely shredded by the Buccaneers' run game. That was all backups. Tennessee gave up 9.8 yards per carry. That's horrific. So you'd have to think that Brian Callahan would be like, this is unacceptable. Start there. This is unacceptable. We can't be getting gashed by backups. So you'd think that their defense will step up here. The Falcons were down 17-10 early in the fourth quarter when Maurice Norris suffered that very scary concussion, and they called the game. He's back with the Lions. He's in protocol. I thought Easton Stick looked really good. 15 of 18 for 149 yards and a touchdown. It sounds as if we will not see Penix and we will not see Cousins in this one, which means that it's Easton Stick and then Emory Jones, which we know that the Falcons are a defensive-minded coach with Raheem Norris. We know he thinks defense all the time. Why wouldn't he challenge a couple of the starters and the backups fighting for spots to go out there and play defense against Cam Ward? Show us what you can do against the number 1 overall pick in the draft. And then, on the other hand, you're going to have Callahan saying, you assholes just let 9.8 yards per carry. I'm going to start cutting players right now. I'm going to start cutting, and you've got to think that they're more alert. So then I really like the look on the Falcons. The problem is that you're going to get Emory Jones in there for a big chunk. Now, Jones wasn't bad, 4 or 5 for 49 yards. We know he can move his legs. Also, there's been joint practices Tuesday and Wednesday, which again brings some defensive intensity into this game. I can't, and this is my problem, I can't take the Falcons and then take I can't take the Falcons team total over and then take the under. Chris Warren says Easton Stick's prop passing yards is 93, which means we'll probably see Emory Jones earlier. But look, am I going to sit back and say, oh no, I'm going to be shredded by Tim Boyle? I think the move is the Falcons plus the points and the full game under. And I think I should bet that now. I don't think it's going to keep going up. I think this is going to drop. I think that under 38 is appealing right now. And I also think that I want Easton Stick. And is that stupid? Like that's where am I putting too much emphasis into what he did in that first start and how he's had, some opportunities, albeit they were horrific with the Chargers? I think I'm going to do that. I think I'd like to get that in now. Go up against this huge market move. Now, there is another problem that I'm going to have to decide here is if it is Cam Ward versus Easton Stick off the top and Cam Ward starts delivering, why would I want to have pre-game action on the Falcons when I can get them cheaper after the Titans score a touchdown, which they are likely to do in one of these 3 drives? So then if that's the case, it also affects the total. Why wouldn't I then bet the total live instead of having pre-flop action on the under 38? So these are decisions that I've got to make, and I'll work on it, and then I'll tweet it out if I bet it, and then I'll let you guys know. So there is game 1 and cash flow here. Are they going to give us any of the cash flow? Not sure if they are going to offer it up here for us. This is no. The answer is no, not yet. But we'll have it all tomorrow. Okay, let's roll on to the game 2 and the final spot here on the board. Doug White says I'll be on the Titans first quarter in some way. That's another part. I mean, we crushed that in the Bengals game. Is that an easy thing for us to bet here? I mean, it's a great call. I mean, we've already delivered here. The first quarter is the same deal for the Titans. It's -0.5 at +100. Why on earth is it -0.5 at +100? It's the exact same line that we got with the Bengals with Burrow. Why? Now, we were lucky. We got that touchdown with about a minute left to make it 14-7 at the end of the first quarter. But you're right. That makes great sense. Unless you're concerned or you like Easton Stick to play well. That's important that you gave me that prop pass yards on Easton Stick at 93, Chris. Thank you for sending that. You're right. I mean, we know that Cam Ward is going to come in and deliver. And Viper, this is my third year of betting preseason. It's been excellent. Absolutely wonderful. Great for my bankroll and just gets you rolling. So, Slow Down Dark Snow says, was it Monday last year live streaming? We're going to live stream every single game. Every showcase game. Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm trying to live stream the Friday game in Brazil, the Chargers game in Brazil, but my pops is coming in and I don't know if I'll be able to do it. So let's get it. So I've got lots to think about that first game. Let's talk, but that makes so much sense, doesn't it? Doesn't that first quarter make sense? You're getting a plus money. You're getting a no vig situation. Is there a real concern here that Easton Stick is going to deliver? I think that it was a clinical drive by Cam Ward. How do we not bet that? I think it's a beautiful. This is exactly the reason why I wanted to talk about this before we started. Dougie White saying that Titans first quarter is appealing. One of the things about that first quarter minus a half, with the star quarterback going, it's if there is a mistake in a line, it's going to be in a first quarter type situation where they can't quite move it enough and there's heavy limits. I dare somebody to try to put $5,000 on one of these bets. You're not going to get it in. You know, 2,000 generally the limit. Let's talk Chiefs, Seahawks, Lumen Field, Seattle, Washington. The weather is important here. Rain, showers, 15-mile-per-hour winds. Very, very, very important. Let's get into the line history here. This total is a 39.5. That's too high. This got up to 42. This opened up at 41. Crazy. But it's too high. So we saw Mahomes for one throw, a 1-yard touchdown pass. That's all we saw Mahomes. And there's a feeling that we're not even going to see him here in this game. He wants to be out there, but there's a feeling that we're not going to see him for this one. Andy Reid, 46 and 51. Mike McDonald, 2-1. Chiefs lost their first preseason game, 2017 at Arizona. There was the fumble for the Cardinals on the opening kickoff. They looked like absolute ass clowns. Let's take a look at this point spread. We have Seattle minus 2.5 with heavy vig. They opened up +3 3 days ago. Unbelievable. This was +3. This was a +3.5 because people thought Mahomes was going to play, and they had every right to think that with Reid starting out Mahomes in that first preseason game. Then the press conference came at 2:30. Was it when was it? I guess it was it was yesterday morning that Andy Reid said that Mahomes is unlikely to play, or intimated that was going to happen. And there's just been this heavy move towards Seattle since then. Heavy. And the totals dropped. Dougie White saying this line screams Seattle. So Andy Reid told him that he'd play one series, and now it looks like he's not even going to get out there for this one. Gardner Minshew took over the next series. Gardner Minshew is the backup quarterback. It's locked in. He went 6-9 for 54 yards. He ran for a touchdown second quarter. So Zappy came in. Zappy's the third stringer, and he looked bad. That's who we're going to see, and Chris Oladukin. We're going to see these two the most. Zappy's got to be better, and I expect him to. He went 8-17 for 70 yards and 2 interceptions. And Oladukin is just, the practice squad quarterback. He's not going to be more than that. He did have a 26-yard run, but he was 6-13 for 39 yards. Now, the reason why the move went as being a 5 or 6 point move is because Andy Reid usually plays his starters a little bit in week 2, and he's not going to do that here against the Seahawks. Seahawks started their preseason with 23-23 tie at home versus the Raiders. Again, most of the Seahawks starters didn't play. It's not like we're going to see Cooper Kupp and Smith and the Jigba out there. We're not going to see Kenneth Walker. We're not going to see Darnold. But Darnold will get playing time against the Chiefs. McDonald said that yesterday. and that was part of this move. So in week 1, Drew Lock opened the game, 12 of 22 for 147 yards, touchdown and a pick. Jalen Milroe came in for the second half, went 6 of 10 for 61 yards. So here, again, we're going to see Darnold. And he doesn't have much to prove, and he doesn't have much to do. I don't even know if we see, how much we're going to see Minshew. I don't think we'll see Minshew much. I think it's going to be Zappy, but Minshew probably starts and then goes to Zappy. If that's the case, we want to know what is the first quarter here for Chiefs Seahawks. The Seahawks are a flat -3 at 365. And on the first quarter, they're -0.5 at +105. The money line for the Seahawks is only 10 cents more expensive full first quarter than it is full game. And that makes sense. It does make sense because when it comes down to it, this is going to be Jalen Milroe against Chris Oladokun. And Seattle's going to win that. Seattle's going to win that. And I wish I had got in earlier. But again, you're trying to get as much information as possible. It takes a little bit of time. Sir Mackey has the Seahawks +135 in his pocket. Spectacular work. We're going to need more time on this. Dougie Wise says, I think Seattle wins this game. I agree with you. AM says, over the last preseason games, Seattle have had the 5th most points scored. And we started with 46. I still want to go under. But he really thinks this game goes over. AM really thinks this game goes over. I think if you wanted to bet an over, that the focus would be on the Seahawks team total, and that right now is it's all over the place. But you can get it between 20.5 and 22. I know if you're betting the over, you want to be under that 21 points. I think that the Chiefs do squad ass zilch in this one. And I would like to get my action in. And I'll get my action. I'll have my action in for these 2 games. So then tomorrow, we're going to just very quickly touch on these 2 games, touch on the market very quickly, and then move on to some spots that I'm going to be betting on Saturday and Sunday. There we go. That is our show for today. Let's do a review here of action. We have the Jays game starting off right now. It is the weather delay in Baltimore. Good thing we got through that 5 and got that cash. They can shut it down for all we care. Now, I know the Mariners don't want that to happen, especially against that Orioles bullpen. It is the top of the first. There is 2 out. Scherzer's got the first 2 out. Live total 7.5. I'm not sure at what point we want to move live on a live over, but I will be interested in it. Thank you guys all. Let me do a review of action here for everybody. 49er is on the Falcons +4.5 and Raiders -3.5. Thank you, 49er. I will copy and paste that action. So in CFL, Ottawa team total over 22.5 and the full game over 52 for Bobano. I've not locked anything in yet. Elks team total over 27. Argos team total over 25.5 and the over 52 for Argos Elks. Again, it's just going to be empty and cold, and I'm very interested in going up against and betting it under. We know that overs are going to keep getting bet. It's going to be a little longer here, but the over. I mean, we're just watching this total climb in front of a completely empty building. So. Nice job, Nasty Nate. 49ers, because we had Orioles. Well, Nasty Nate had them first 3 and first 5. I had them first 5. That's how we cashed them already. Then we have Ticats first half +2.5 for Bobano. The storyline of Corey Mace not having his team prepared, against the team that's leading the East right now. I'm unsure that will be the case. Remember that the game they were not prepared for this year was against the worst team at the time in the CFL, and the Elks. But I hear what Bobana was saying, and I'll heed his advice. And then I'm still beating myself up for not being on the BC Lions +110 on the double result. That's Latsy and I talked about, and he bet, and I was just trying to prepare myself for yesterday's morning show, and now it's a -120. That's a huge move. 49 are looking at the Bombers -4 in the. Sorry, let's get back to in tonight's action. This was the opening line to me. Now, there are books that make mistakes with CFL opening lines. We know it, and you can take advantage of them. It just really, the 6.5 was unbelievable. It made no sense to me whatsoever. A 500 team, the Blue Bombers. Redblacks are a 500 team with Drew Brown at quarterback. Drew Brown coming back to Winnipeg. The whole thing made no sense to me. Let's go over specialty best bets here in Major League Baseball. Stacks play today. Number 1, Harper over 1.5 bases. He's also on Phillies team total over 5.5 plus 115. Frankie Lindor over 1.5 bases at plus 107. I love that we all got that cash together on the Orioles first 5, Justin. A lot of us did. I love it. Stacks for tomorrow, Mercury minus 3.5 at minus 110. Gorky in CFL is Winnipeg, Edmonton moneyline parlay and Saskatchewan, BC moneyline parlay. New Quicker on Ottawa plus 5. Mr. Bouquet, welcome back. Pig Milk play today is Arizona, Colorado over 12 at minus 115. I want to see those. I just want to see it one more time. Those chicks are nuts. Fucking nuts. New Corker on Ottawa plus 5 at minus 110. If you like Ottawa, don't be afraid of the 4. I mean, the 4 and the 5 is not too big of a difference. Billy Friedrich, that Pig Milk play days, Arizona, Colorado over 12. Talk Sports with JT on Detroit, Minnesota under 7.5 minus 120. And Dougie Wise, free bands play today is the Jays first 5 plus a half minus 135. Slatsy's on the Elks minus 1.5. Argos Elks over 53.5. Riders Lions money line parlay and Lions double result plus 110. Then we have TJ's card in baseball. Arizona, Colorado over 11.5. Seattle, Baltimore under 10. Miami first 5 money line. Baltimore first 5 money line is already cashed. Matty Ice is on the Bears minus 2.5. Flank stake play of the day is the Blue Jays. It is the Toronto Blue Jays. Spooner's on the Cubs and Jose is on the Cubs first 5. This is the bottom of the first inning right now. Then we have the Jose on the Marlins first 5 and Spooner on the Marlins full game. Matty Ice on the Marlins. Matty Ice taint play today is the Philadelphia Phillies on the run line minus 1.5. Bobano and Spooner are both on the over 8.5 in Atlanta, New York. And Jose, you said you were trying to figure out how to bet it. Did you figure it out?
Atlanta, yes, I did. I took the first 5 over 5 even money.
First 5 over 5 at plus Honda locked in. Then Stacks is on Scooball over 8.5 Ks at plus 120. Jose's on the Twins first 5 plus a half at plus 125. Bobano's on the over 12 in Arizona, Colorado. And that, my friends, is our show for today. Thank you guys so much for supporting us here. Viper, Dougie, JT, Justin McKelvey, Nasty Nate, SF Niner. Love it. Ram says tease those 2 totals there, the 31 to 32. AM, thank you for all your hard work. And Dougie Wise, thank you for all of your angles and your play of the day. The free bands play of the day. Chris Warren, thank you. Slow Jams, Arsenal, LaForty, thank you. Joseph Gomez, Viper NB, Alec Dirks, Jermaine. That was a huge $50 dono from our friend, the Eldorado Custodian. It means a ton to us. Thank you, Jason. Turnbuckle, Tommy, Grant Clarkson. Thank you, guys. Black Thor King in the house. TJ, Chris Warren, Mo Harris, Irish King. Thank you guys so much. Aaron, thank you. Thank you to all of you guys for your support. Streamline Gaming, Beavis, Metro Bowman. Thank you guys so much. Dav Fenn, thank you guys. Thank you. Jose, thank you for all your hard work, my friend. I know that we are meeting up here in about 45 minutes to have everything set up for our new membership details that we'll be talking about tomorrow, which is the precursor for our huge $100 race tomorrow, entry into the Cappers contest or the Survivor Pool, whatever it is your choice. Jose, my friend, could you please bless our action and lead us into the future?
Yeah, it's going to be a fun day of betting all these, of watching all these games we bet on, I should say. So I'm excited to do all that and get locked in here. Excited to hear about what all is coming tomorrow, because tomorrow's a big show. As you guys know, Friday shows tend to be long because we break these cards down. We've got a lot of good stuff coming your guys' way. So don't forget, if you're not a member, become a member, because it helps the channel out immensely, and you guys will be getting a ton of benefits here soon. So hit the like button on your way out. Let us know in the comments what you're on. And don't forget to leche a Los Bookmakers.